No caps.
Welcome back, everyone, to Abomination Vaults, episode 20 on the Undeniably Good Time Entertainment Network.
Where we don't spell God.
We don't, no. Well, when last we left our heroes, they had triumphed over the vicious trap laid for them on, well, the current lowest level of the Abomination Vaults, making it out in one piece, saving Lazda, the bartender, former bartender. Last year, he's been in a different profession, that being tortured forever. In the Abomination Vaults.
Very similar to being a bartender.
Very similar to being a bartender, I suppose. You don't get tipped, though.
Those skills transfer.
Okay, I'm glad to know they transfer. Yeah, that's
wonder
true.
if his insurance let him go on up a FMLA for that.
Almost
yeah, bartenders have insurance, my guy. What are you talking about?
FMLA is only 14
this
weeks.
This is fantasy. We can make believe.
Wait,
it's a fantasy.
We have health insurance. We get rest. We get full nights of rest every night.
if your bartender is an automaton,
I have money.
Does he count as part of the bar for the sake of insurance?
Oh no, it's true. It's true. We're still going on high pre-show energy, everybody. I'm sorry. This little tangent that we're doing here. But who are these mysterious people marching out of the swamp as night falls? Why don't we go around the tables and introduce yourselves? We'll start over here.
Currently very much helping a very injured dwarven man get himself back up to his, well, I don't know if he'd still have a house.
He has a family, actually.
Well, they'll be glad to see him.
They'll be very glad to see him.
I hope at least that.
At least I think so.
Hopefully things have not changed.
Oh no, the life insurance money.
More the hopefully not, relationship change. Anyway, Korino Vashti, resident field medic, and currently the only living descendant of the Roseguard.
There's others, just the only living descendant in this party.
Yeah.
Time to make some babies.
We have babies.
We will
They're
not
little
be role-playing that.
They're centipedes.
I'm just going to stare in the middle distance now at that.
Hi, I'm Bobby. I play
said.
Calvin Pimbley-Bottom.
Thank
He's a tiny
you.
little gnome who does wizard stuff and is currently teaching what appears to be a 16-year-old about how to not narc themselves out. You gotta never talk to the cops.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you don't talk to the cops. What's a cop?
Well, she's been in a Pharasman holding pen for about 1,000 years. So.
Howdy, I'm Derp, and I'm the cop.
It's true.
I am the.
That is so
At
true,
least he
though.
admits it finally. This is character growth, people. This is an arc.
God, it's true.
I'm playing Drevin Sorrel, the Great Knoll Paladin champion of Sarenrae, the Pious Puppy, the Demolition Doggo. I guess the cop now. So
No, you're definitely not a cop.
Definitely a cop.
as far as the town
For sure,
goes, I'm the closest
Definitely
thing to
not
a
a
cop.
cop.
For sure, cop.
He's not a businessman, though.
No,
Not
definitely
a
not a
businessman.
businessman.
No business plan.
Over here, I'm Bryn. I'm playing Nil Grumman, a dwarven druid, here to find really cool monsters and generally just have a really good time. So far, so good. I may have found some new spells that are really phenomenal.
Very
I'm
Nil
very
flavored.
excited about this.
Oh, hi. I'm Iris, or Riss for short, and I'm not playing. I guess I'm played by
bye.
Jen. Well, this is my bunny, and we come from the Boneyard. It's very nice there, but we're here on Galarian now. I thought Galarian would be much more gentle and nice than it is. It's kind of a little strange. I'm a spirit barbarian. I'm returned, and these are my friends. They are telling me about politics and what not to do with the man.
Galarian is a death world.
I don't know who the man is.
Don't worry. Calvin
You
tell
will.
He knows.
Leaning on Corwin is, in fact, a very exhausted, mentally exhausted, and probably a bit physically exhausted, although his physical injuries have been treated. Lazda, the dwarven former barbarian of the Rowdy Rockfish Inn, who was...
Barbarian.
Did I say barbarian?
Yeah.
You did.
Bartender.
Barman. Sorry.
Nope, it's canon now.
No,
He's bard.
bartender,
He's a
barbarian,
You got to break up some bar fights from time to time.
Level 20 barbarian.
Lazda...
It would explain how he lasted so long.
Yeah, it would,
He's got lots
wouldn't
of
it?
hit points.
He's certainly been through quite the ordeal, having been kidnapped by Volok, the evil worm that walks, former apprentice of Belcora, tied up in the gauntlet, being subjected and used as a conduit to power its fell energies. Rescuing Lazda, however, has severed the connection to Gauntlight's upper floors. And in fact, as you have come up through the dungeon, making your way back to the surface, you would have noticed that that blue ribbon of light that snaked its way up through the library room and indeed through the room on the second floor where the purple worm corpse was kept, that light is gone. And moreover,
Instead of the gauntlet, it's the gone light. Oh, sorry.
Gone light. I see what you did there.
Sorry.
Yeah. I'll remember this.
Hold Soul 1.
Thank you so much.
You did it. You got it.
I did it.
Yeah, did it. You'll notice that the oppressive air that seemed to just cloy in on you, the miasma of these levels, that dissipates as well. It feels cleaner. Still walking through an underground fort, right? But this oppressive force on you, and in fact, even the feeling of being watched, all of this feels clean. It feels as though you freshly scrubbed the place with the incense and religious sigils to drive the miasma away. But it seems to be that way everywhere now. No haunts you run into on the way back up. Indeed, it seems as though the top 4 levels have been cleansed of all of their haunted evil magics.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
And nice indeed it is.
It wasn't the best up here. I mean, I know you were kind of on the bottom floor, but the rest wasn't any better.
I mean, to be fair, I wasn't really on the bottom floor. I was sort of sent there. I wasn't waiting for you there the whole time. Gosh, did you think I was?
I mean, you showed up out of a tomb, kind of beating your way out of a wall, so...
Oh, that was sort of last minute. I wasn't really sure where she was going to send me, actually, but we've been planning it for a while.
Improvise, adapt, and overcome. I like your style.
Well, she figured the grave would be appropriate.
Yeah, I figured it'd be more appropriate to, keep people alive. But whatever, gods do what gods do, I suppose.
Indeed they do. The path back through the swamp to bring you back to town continues. And in fact,
Wait,
it's
don't
not...
we have a tunnel?
You do? I'm assuming you weren't taking it.
No.
I'm assuming you were coming up through.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd say you came up through the normal stairs because that way I could describe to you how the haunts are all turned off on the upper floors.
That makes sense.
It's very handy. You didn't say you weren't, so I kind of puppeted you a little bit there.
I'd rather go the way that we know is safe and clear.
Can't believe we're
and
being
not
forced
the,
to play on such rails.
I know, right? I totally railroaded you there.
Choo-choo!
Yeah, I feel like a bad GM right now. I'm not sorry, mind you. I just feel like a bad GM.
And we wouldn't have even noticed if it weren't for you meddling.
It's true. That's true. It wasn't for Bobby going, "Hey, there's rails down there. Couldn't we have turned way back that way?"
No, the rails didn't go that way.
Yep. Well, coming into town, there's a figure that seems to look like he's waiting for you. Seems to be a fairly dapper gentleman wearing sort of an overcoat. And as you approach, he is familiar to 4 of you. And perhaps a bit startling to the 5th member of your party as a tall, well-dressed, clearly devil is sitting there waiting for you. Red skin, horns curling up off of his head, who... in a friendly manner, moves away from the tree he was leaning on and waves. Well, good to see you made it out. This would be Corlarian, the contract devil, whose card you used and who you all met in the vaults.
Well, your contract don't seem to keep you bound inside, at least.
Oh, I can go wherever I please, actually.
Interesting.
After all, don't forget, you broke that silver circle that was keeping me in.
Yeah, I suppose so.
But it's a good thing you did, because otherwise, how could I meet you here?
And it is a good thing that you did. Look at how much he has grown. Oh, he's stuck. He does not want to leave my hand. And I will show up 2 little horns, maybe an extra one, a couple extra legs, maybe a kind of disjointed wing on the backside. Does not do anything.
Oh, He's
He has
coming
grown.
along spectacularly. I knew you were the right person to trust with his keeping.
You can take your hand off the weapon, Iris. He's an acquaintance.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Oh, please, dear Pharasman, we have nothing to quarrel about. After all, those souls that come to you that are deserving of such get routed down to my domain eventually.
I have no particular argument with you, whatever you are. I was just making sure you didn't threaten my new friends.
Oh, a spectacular companion. I would ask where you found her, but, well,
In a grave.
that's what I was going to think.
About 30 feet away from where we last saw you.
Odd, I can't think of... Oh, where you called upon my services. Yes, indeed, and indeed I am here to deliver. Please. And he'll hold a hand out, and almost a wisp of shadow will kind of plume out from his hand before rotating sideways and then opening into what appears to be a wrought iron framed mirror, about yay big. And he will hold it out to you. Taking it, the glass of the mirror doesn't reflect your face, but aside from just normal light shining off the glass, but within it swirls sort of like a mist that you're looking into. As agreed, please talk with it.
Talk with a mirror? What am I supposed to...
Oh, come on. No mirror. It's an old friend of yours. We had a deal, after all.
Deal was you bring my cousin back.
And you'll say cousin, and the mists kind of part, and unmistakably Mocker's face will kind of turn over and look at you. And he'll smile, recognition kind of in his eyes. Ah, cousin! His voice echoed and distorted, as though it's sort of coming out from a great distance. Huh. So good to see you again. And he'll kind of smile at you, kind of expectantly, in a way that seems to indicate he has no idea that he's talking to you outside of a mirror.
What is this thing?
What is this thing?
Psychometric screening, looking at this thing. Well,
I heard about these things.
how is our religion/occult?
Occult is 10, religion is 9.
Occultism is 7, unless it's odd, in which case it's 9.
Not gonna be. Ooh, is it gonna be odd? Nope, it's not gonna be odd.
Not
You
scrying?
don't think this is odd?
Not scrying. For oddity identification, they rewrote oddity identification, so now it's
It's got some specifics.
got some specifics in it. So you'll both kind of look at this, and for one thing, but you each have different perspectives on this. So you each get different information. So Corwin looks at this and can immediately tell that this doesn't appear to be Mocker trapped in a mirror. Like that right away is almost assuredly the case. And in fact, but looking at him, his mannerisms in his face, hit the cadence of his speech, the way he moves, it's almost a perfect copy. You've got you know this isn't Mocker trapped in a mirror, because Mocker actually, you can't imagine that Mocker gets stuck somewhere or not have some weird, crazy, harebrained scheme about it. He certainly wouldn't be chatting with you like everything is normal.
Yeah.
So you're pretty sure that this isn't Mocker himself, but there is an uncanny similarity that you cannot shake from it. Like this seems to be a perfect copy for some reason. Like something about his mannerisms just. This is, in fact, Mocker looking at you. Intellectually, you understand it's not, but it feels like Mocker when you look at him. Iris, you're looking at this from a different line. You know that this isn't Mocker because you were on the other side when Mocker's soul came through fast track to Saren Ray. So you know Mocker is out of the reach of this devil. Like, devils maybe they can pluck souls out if they're stuck somewhere, and even some very brazen devils have tried literally kidnapping souls from the boneyard. Mocker is beyond this creature's reach. You know that for a fact. What you're able to piece together, though, is what might be happening is that while Mocker was moving through the Abomination vaults, he left a psychic imprint everywhere he went, specifically with from what you were able to learn of his ability to read psychometric resonance. You don't read without also leaving traces of yourself behind. It's possible that what the devil did was skim these psychic resonances and spin them up into a simulacrum to put this image of Mocker together. It is as close to a copy as you can get.
Oh, Corwin, this is actually very lovely. I mean, it isn't truly your cousin, but it is him in a way. It's the impressions he left behind while he was going through what you all were going through in the vaults. It's his psychic impressions. It is him. It's not fake. It isn't as good as the real thing, but it's very considerate of you.
Please, I always deliver to the best of my ability. And in fact, but he's not simply there to make chit-chat with, although certainly you may if you like. Please ask him any questions you like. This Ultimach character seemed like quite the scholar, and his knowledge will remain inside of his psychic imprint. Ask him any question, and he'd answer to you to the best of his ability.
He's kind of silent for a minute. It doesn't even seem like he's thinking. It's just dead air. It's the best you could do, wasn't it?
I'm afraid so. There's no robbing a soul when Saren Ray has laid claim to it. But I'm nothing if not resourceful.
I've heard of these things. Devils have this technology called AI. And this is an Ultimach impersonator. AI, Ultimach impersonator. That's what that is. You can't trust that. It only knows so many things. It takes all these impressions of you, and it ain't real, man. I think we got ripped off by this guy.
Hey, Naja, do you want to stab Calvin right now? It says yes.
Oh, well, fair enough.
A finer remembrance one could never have, I assure you.
Well, what do I owe you?
Oh, please. I'm not so crass. I'll take care of it myself. You were very, probably wise of you, honestly, to agree so readily. But don't worry. After all, I wasn't able to fully bring your friend back. So I certainly won't take your soul for all eternity.
I pay my debts.
I know you do. But whether you do or not with your mortal compatriots, I assure you, I always get paid. And I consider this trade to be most amenable, much like that one over there. Honestly, you are a spectacular group of people to do business with.
You gave her that purple hat?
Not quite. But not entirely wrong.
Oh.
He has been helping me. He is a trusted friend in the raising of these many minions that I have. In fact, you can tell some of the resemblance that he has had on their lives.
Corlarian the Trustworthy. That's what everyone calls me.
That is what you are. Yes, I agree. It's been a great doing business with you, and also they are happy to see you.
I'm sure they are. But please, I certainly don't want to intrude any further than I already have. But obviously, I'm always here and at service if any of you need anything else. Farewell. And he'll bow, and just kind of that shadow smoke that he used to produce the mirror seems to swirl about him, and he's gone. Although in the grass where he was standing is a card about this big, made of black lacquered something, with a glyph in scarlet just emblazoned in the middle.
Pick up the card.
Draven, I need you to be really honest with me.
It's about all I can do. What do you need? Cops
Fair.
can't lie. They gotta tell you they're cops.
Is that really how babies are made?
What?
He said that
My thoughts exactly.
What?
he said that he and Nil made the centipedes together, and I didn't think it worked like that from my understanding.
No, it did work exactly like that. Nil had the centipede. The centipede was pregnant. Offered the centipede. A pact was made. And now they're semi-devilish.
So
Okay.
yes, babies are made that way is what we have discovered
in
from
this-
this conversation.
in this
In this
circumstance, the
specific
answer is
scenario,
yes.
yes.
Okay. I'm really discomfited now.
It's got nothing to do with like that side of things, but
Storks don't do that on Galarian.
specifically in the manner in which you asked this question, yes.
Okay.
I do have a new and interesting way for new life to be created, and I will have to discover it in the future. It may or may not turn out to be fortuitous.
Calvum, if you're gonna make a deal with that devil,
Now what?
make a contract first.
She picked up the card. I didn't pick up the card.
I'm just making sure.
No trust. No trust.
I mean, it's fair enough.
Just rounds on Calvin. Now, don't you even dare.
We know what happens here.
They've all been good.
Just
All been
imagine
good
all the dark
experiences,
secrets that devil might know.
Right?
Well, he knows the secrets to AI, so of course he knows some terrible stuff.
He's farming Bitcoin with his simulacrum mirrors.
Just kind of gonna set a hand on Najee at his side. Just, I'm gonna hold this mirror up to you. I don't know if this is gonna work. It's a long shot. See if you can talk to this thing. It's gonna seem like it's Mocker. It ain't. It's a memory, but maybe we can start figuring something out about it.
Well, I know one way to see about this.
You're not stabbing it.
I know another way we could see about this.
You just take the hilt of the mirror, hold it up to the blade at his side, and just keep walking
So
that way.
You're holding the sword, and it's touch telepathy, so you get to hear what he asks the mirror. And so Mocker's voice will kind of come out through the mirror too, and anyone who's nearby can also hear Mocker's side of the conversation. And so you will hear Najee ask about that devil and say, so, Mocker, that devil, if you had to go ahead and cut him up, how would you think that would work out? And Mocker kind of thinks for a minute and they say, well, that's pretty simple. Certainly, I have a vial of silver powder here. This would be perfect. I could go ahead and coat you with this. It's very fine, so it would actually stick to the blade really well. And you hear Mocker go through basically a short little dissertation of esoteric lore on how he would take advantage of the devil's silver weakness. And Najee kind of like,
Hey, Mocker, can you cite your sources?
oh, yeah, sure, absolutely. So, there was this guy in a bar, right? And he was an old hunter. Like, the guy was, like, really grizzled. I mean, he may have also been a bit of a drunkard. But it was probably from a long life of hunting. And he, he told me some of the craziest stories, right? And really, he told me how to deal with werewolves. He told me how to deal with devils. He told me how to deal with those little lizards that get into your house and you can never get rid of them. I mean, I learned a lot of stuff from him. And, he'll talk about this experience he had.
Almost generatively.
No, he told me about this one. It was northwest of Absalom, about 2 days' travel. I think the guy's name was Olvash or something.
Yeah, I think something like that. Or maybe was that the innkeeper?
Sworn it was going to be Gerald.
No. That was another fella. There was one on that one, but I think that was about
Oh, yeah.
I think that was on Manticores.
But yeah, no, asking the mirror questions, it responds as though it was Mocker.
Wow.
So mechanically, if you wanted to come up with a mechanical thing for this, you can basically ask it anything that Mocker would know, and it will respond with Mocker's stats at the time of death. Which means he can also be used to aid you. Aside from being a crazy piece of esoterica. But anything that Mocker knew up to that point, those memories have been skimmed out of the vaults and spun up into this mirror. So if you ever wanted anybody that could teach you anything about esoterica, you literally have a tutor in the palm of your hand now.
It really is like AI. It has been trained specifically on Mocker, only knows the things that Mocker has ever known. Like, that was a joke at first, but it is definitely just
Ultimate
generative
impersonator.
AI.
Yeah,
That is what a simulacrum is.
Yeah, like that's... I have never put those two together until just now.
And through AI, we shall overcome death itself.
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess.
So
yeah.
so as long as I have the mirror in hand, I basically have lore esoterica.
You can't. Yes, it takes you an extra. It would take you an extra action
Takes
to
two
pull it
actions.
up because you'd have to ask the mirror, and the mirror would tell you.
Yeah.
But it's certainly not going to be enough to like exploit weakness.
Yeah, but I have the option of using it.
Yeah, correct. Because you just ask Mocker about it,
Yeah.
and he'll tell you what he gets.
Yeah.
However, it is he is locked into as good as he gets.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's a level 4 thaumaturge who will tell you all his stuff that he knows.
Yeah. That's still
that
useful.
lore skill will be better for at least 3 levels
Yeah,
than a
that's
standard skill.
It's lore monsters.
It's pretty handy.
Yeah.
I mean, totally worth a non-specific reward that you promised the devil.
just like a tenth of your lifespan or something. Who knows?
I don't know.
I'm really interested in exactly what it is. Very interested.
Really? You weren't interested in what the exact payment was when you cut a deal with him?
Well, I was absolutely certain what my exact my payment was, so there was no questioning about that.
That payment's kind of written out in the bodies of multiple centipedes.
True.
Besides, I thought, really,
The payment
nice
is how whatever parts of your body the centipedes eat.
The stars sure do look different here.
It's a couple, you said you're what, Aslan?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's what, several thousand years?
I
Kind of
don't.
move.
I don't know. What year is it?
47, 22, 23.
That's what they
Number
want you to
means
think.
nothing to you.
I don't know what that means.
How long ago was the Aslan Empire?
Longer than the calendar that you use to keep track of years.
Well, let's start with this one. You know Eridan's dead, right?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Earthfall.
Yeah. Big old thing happened.
Yes,
Bunch of civilizations wiped out.
I watched it happen. Yes,
What?
I watched it happen.
What?
I think we broke Corwin.
right?
No, that's not
I
a
have
thing you
more
watch.
things for you to ask. You. I have many books in my house that I think you would find very interesting.
That's not
And-
a thing you watch. That's a thing you die from.
I mean, to be fair, I was already in the boneyard, so I really had a front row seat.
That's an important thing to preface that with.
She just saw the line get really long.
So that puts you about 5,000-6,000 years old. Who knows?
Somewhere in there. I mean, if it's pre-Earthfall, there's not a lot of records.
That's
so
what they want you to think. The Earth's only 1,000 years old, y'all.
Our calendar is literally 4,000 years old.
That's what they want you to think. That's a government conspiracy.
Aren't there some elves
I
older than
saw.
that?
I saw
They
that
claim to
pamphlet.
be older than that, but they ain't real old like that.
I saw
Pocket
that
mirrors.
pamphlet
You
as
know
well.
any weaknesses for gnomes?
Try gagging them.
Tall shelves.
Tall shelves.
If Strange
Stairs.
Aeons taught me anything,
Stairs.
a cabinet up on a wall that you lock.
A
She'll
booster seat.
she'll start talking to you. She'll start talking to you in Dwarvish. Is this language still the same?
It is archaic. Like, she's saying stuff with these and thous in it.
Shakespearean.
Well, we may have technically we may have to catch you up on the slang. You're not really going to get any street cred with the current terminologies you're using, but
Street. Okay.
yeah, we're gonna get there.
Multipass.
Multipass. Coming into town, you are again. It's kind of into evening. People are kind of closing up shop and moving around. But people who do see you come out will greet you. You are in fact the heroes who have been like travailing out into Gauntlet to try to save the town.
Carrying a body.
And you're back carrying a body as well.
I have to ask something that I just realized, and I don't think anyone actually brought up. What was Lass's reaction to us just casually talking to a contract devil? Because he's with us when we're leaving.
So
this dude's just like, oh, hey, you guys just like talk to a devil. Like, that's your
He's
friend?
been interacting
Cool.
with a person made out of leeches.
Yeah,
this
but
is probably very tame.
Laz is actually like seems completely nonplussed.
He's checked out, man.
He's just like kind of there watching, and he's just kind of like looked around as you all were talking, and then like once he left, like he just kind of watched everything happen, and then he just followed you along. Like Laz,
A little bit of shell shock.
Your boy is in the ranch dimension.
maybe it's shell shock. Like Laz has been through not literal hell, but basically as close as you get, and he is like. It just seems like he just does not really care. Like
Fair. It's just like, I'm going home. I don't... That's a thing that happens.
It's like, I don't have the emotional bandwidth to deal with this right now.
It might as well.
Yeah, might as well. Like, it could be any number of expressions as to, like, what's going through Laz's mind right now.
He just wants a hamburger.
Well, I am going to probably, if people start cheering as we walk into town or whatnot, or like start looking at us, I think we'd probably be better for some of us to stay in the shadows. Too much attention is never good.
It's not?
Yes.
Eyes everywhere.
And certainly the townsfolk, as they come out, when they see you carrying Mocker, they will... The reaction is shock, some sorrow. Some of them like will make various gestures of respect. And it certainly comes as a, you can definitely see a grab bag of emotions kind of going around. There are some people who, seeing you go out and come back and go out and come back, like they didn't really seem to realize maybe how absolutely dangerous it was in there. And you come back carrying the body of one of these people. And don't forget, Mocker was a local.
Mm-hmm.
Like people here knew him and knew his family, and you're bringing his body back. And a small procession actually starts following you, as I'm assuming you're taking him to the Dawnflower Library. That's what I thought.
Yeah, with the mirror and the deal going through, Corwin's just give him the burial. Or, well, the pyre.
The pyre, exactly. And the bringing Mocker's body in, the procession, sort of the impromptu funeral procession, it seems that word spreads fairly quickly, and multiple people start coming, even despite the late hour. Businesses might close early, and before long, there is a throng of people that are following you to the Dawnflower Library. Word apparently has gone ahead of you as well, for Vandy is there waiting for you, along with a retinue of acolytes who very somberly, a bit teary-eyed, in fact, will direct you on where to bring Mocker's body, laying it to rest on an altar, around which a funeral pyre is being built. Vandy will ask what happened.
I'll just recount getting trapped, all the various things we encountered, how it happened, what we did after, and how we got out, as well as how we met a Pharasman.
Oh.
And definitely hand over the card that I received. And
Card?
The Devil's Cards.
Did he give you one? I don't
He
think
gave us
ever
all
did.
one.
I don't think he did.
I
No.
did
not.
Did he not? I
No.
thought when we met him, we all took one.
He gave a card to Corwin and to Mocker.
Yep. Mocker
They were
has
the
one.
only people who had cards.
And I would have taken Mockers off his body.
And this time, and now he dropped just one more card.
And Nil has that one.
Yeah.
Then I'll definitely make mention of the card. And that two people decided it was a good idea to make a deal with a devil.
See, this is why you don't talk to cops.
This is literally why we don't talk to cops. As I say from the shadows on the side, that's why we don't talk to cops.
Vandy's
Riss
eyes will
will-
kind of like narrow a bit, but it's clearly not the time to start like addressing.
That's
other
for
people.
tomorrow.
That's for later. Yeah.
Riss will bow low to her.
Yes, please. Welcome our Pharasman friend. I wish it would have been on better times.
You should know that he was very blessed by the lady. She took him directly into her embrace. He did not even go through the boneyard. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before.
It's a rarity. It's a rarity that Dawnflower extends to her most devoted servants, and it heartens me to hear that Mocker, even though he was so recent to the faith, still received such grace.
He escaped the eyes of empty death.
You'll say that, and like a little shadow will flicker across her face. Possibly recognition, but she'll nod. It seems that the Gray Lady has some plans in here. If you feel comfortable sharing, perhaps I can offer my assistance.
We're sisters, of course.
Vandy will kind of nod.
But first, let us honor the dead.
Yes, indeed. The service is widely attended, and the wake is held. Townsfolk will filter in to look at Mocker. Many of them, actually. You wouldn't think Mocker would be quite the social person, but it seems that he made an impact on many of the townsfolk, and at least many more just felt the need to show up to pay respects. And it takes probably a good hour and a half, 2 hours, for everyone to filter through the Dawnflower Library to pay their respects and pass on. We don't have speeches or anything like that, but the town apparently puts a great weight in what you are all doing and greatly respects the sacrifices that you make, even and up to the ultimate one.
And this is at like 10, 11 at night, right?
It's like 7 or 8.
Okay.
But still, like, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
it's like
People
this
are- people are
is
like-
late.
yeah.
It's a farming and lumber town. That's late
Yeah,
for
yeah.
them.
Like, people are like waking up to like come out and do
Yeah,
this.
exactly. Like they're coming out. They were dead turned in for the day, and they heard about this. One of the last people to show up is none other than Yosef Menems himself, the mayor of the town, who offers some heartfelt words that he always feared that the vaults were a dangerous place. And the fact that you all have offered to do this service is something that
Why does everybody look so sad?
he's got a lot going
man
on.
has died.
Yeah. One of the heroes of the town has fallen in battle.
Cops don't understand mourning.
And the how much I appreciate, how much all of us appreciate the work you are all putting in. It's a sad day, but please, I would love to, if there's anything that you all need, please see me. Come to my home and know that your sacrifice is not in vain and is greatly appreciated. You are heroes of this town, each and every one of you. And with that, he'll take his leave.
Can I ask a question?
Hmm.
When we got out of the dungeon and we're walking across the swamp,
Mm-hmm.
if we looked back at the lighthouse,
Mhm.
is it still lit up?
Nope.
We turned off that
It's dark.
Turned off the light.
for now. So at some point during this, I actually think this is a fantastic use of exhort the faithful.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to.
Extort the
It's basically
Freudian
extort.
slip, man.
Extort,
It's
extort.
basically the same
It's
thing.
the same thing.
You're like
right?
hitting all the cop stereotypes, aren't
You're
you?
doing great
That's
today.
right.
I love it. I love it.
I can coerce or request using religion instead of intimidation or diplomacy,
Okay.
but only to members of my faith.
Yep.
And I would like to just shortly proselytize to people who worship
Proselytize.
proselytize.
Yeah.
It's a word. To people of the Serenite faith and seek information on these relics that we're looking for, using this circumstance as part of the reason as to why we need them.
Oh, that's a really good idea.
That's genius,
That's
actually.
really good.
That's a hot circumstance
And in
bonus.
fact, so our people, members of the Serenite cult, they don't give out membership cards, right? Certainly some people are more faithful than others. But on tonight, on here within the temple, the Dawnflower Library, at a fallen hero's wake, people are feeling pretty faithful. So you're going to get a lot of people. Go ahead and roll me that religion check.
I cannot critically fail.
I
If
will
I
aid-
critically fail, it does not make people's disposition worse.
Okay.
I will aid him in this.
Sure. Roll me your religion.
And it does have to be religion for this.
Yep.
I'm going to be aiding with religion on this.
I also get a +2. It's a pretty nice feat.
It
it's
is
just
super
hard
nice.
to use.
Yeah.
That is a 12. I get a +4. So that is a 25. That is a critical success. That is a +2 on his roll.
Oh, because it's
Remastered
DC
lowered it to
15
50.
now. Yeah.
And he's
So
a
then-
cooperative human.
It's
I
a
am.
+13. That's not bad.
That's not bad.
So that's a 29.
29.
16 on the die.
So you start talking and you get some ideas and some information. Primarily, what you realize is that the relics of the Roseguard that you need to break the seal are 4 in number, 1 for each of the members of the Roseguard. And the
You have one.
You have one of them. You have Otari's thieves' tools, which were his pride and joy. There were 3 other party members, however. There was Esefna Menhems, which is the original ancestor of Yosef Menhems, the
See
mayor.
the note takers doing their jobs.
I have every single one in here.
House Broche.
Yep, she had a holy bruche. She was actually a cleric, but not of Sarenrae. She was a cleric of Erastil, the old hunter god. Her brooch would definitely be the channeling of her holy power. There was a wizard by the name of Zarmavdian. Zarmavdian's spell book was, of course, his pride and joy. Not just a place to keep his spells, but an actual treatise that he had put together. And you hear of that the spell book was named Thresholds of Truth and contained numerous subjects aside from just his magics. Almost assuredly, Morlabint at Odd Stories knows about that book and where to find it. The last item would be Volrajni's sword, which is called the Cooperative Blade. And the sword, and literally the name of it is the Cooperative Blade.
We have many cooperative blades in this one.
Yeah.
It's, some are more cooperative than others.
Some are eagerly cooperative.
Exactly. And that blade is actually stored in this very temple on display in one of the side vestibules of the Dawnflower Library.
We're gonna steal the cooperative blade of independence.
We're going to ask for it. Very
We're
nicely.
gonna ask nicely.
Yeah, that.
As you are talking about this and you're kind of going through the night, there is a bit of an alarm that breaks out, a cry of fire. And there are a lot of people shuffling to one side of the library. It's quickly contained and doesn't disrupt the funeral proceedings over as much. However, after as you are talking, in fact, one of the people you talk to is undoubtedly Vandy, and Vandy will offer to show you the sword, and takes you over to the vestibule and presents you with a display case, which has been smashed and broken, and the sword that was presumably once in there is missing.
To be clear, I was just kidding. It wasn't me. I was here the whole time.
Immediately, that is my lead. And I'm scanning the room.
Convenient. Very convenient. Of course, I was hiding in a corner somewhere, so now I'm like,
With me. we were not to be.
Yeah, you haven't
we weren't
seen
anywhere.
Calvin and Nil anywhere. You wonder,
this is looking very bad. for us right now.
You gotta come up with an alibi, my dude.
Where could they have gone? You start focusing on this. This is not a huge mystery. It is the most plain and simple smash and grab you've ever seen in your life. Vandy is furious.
Oh, I would absolutely be
Like
furious.
her
too.
like halfling face with this big old ground scrile, like that thing twists into the most furious frown you have ever seen in your life. You have never seen Vandy this angry. Her face goes beet red, and you can almost like see her hackles rise, like her hair seems to bush out, which is be way more intimidating if she wasn't 2.5 feet tall. But
Yeah.
as it is, like Vandy is
Hey,
pissed.
listen, 2.5 feet tall people can be very intimidating, I would have you know.
Oh no, a gun's a gun.
Yeah, if they're armed, I guess.
Rissa's eyes will also go flat. To disrespect a ceremony of the honored dead by stealing something and interrupting it is a big deal to her. Like, this is in violation of her code, and
It's true.
she is extremely angry. Like, there's energy coming off of her.
Just
Who would dare? Who would dare do such a thing?
I wonder.
just set a hand
Um,
on Vandy's shoulder. It's that quiet sort of anger. I'm gonna find who did this, and they're not gonna be found again.
Murder.
Corwin?
Corwin's about to go evil.
Corwin, I want you to find this person, and I want you to drag them back by their ears to face justice.
Vandy,
Cops. Boring.
No, we're doing this right.
Your faith offers redemption once, correct?
I'm not here to talk religion with you right now.
Yes or no?
No, we're not playing this game,
Drevin,
Corwin.
your faith offers redemption once, correct?
Correct. I will
Their
give them their chance.
was when they entered this temple for my cousin's funeral.
Bend the rules.
It
Bend the
is
rules.
gone. And I am not of your faith.
If you would like to talk technicalities, they get one chance that I give them. When they're brought back, they are not to be shown mercy.
Where are these at? Do you guys have any leads on the actual people that stole the sword and not me?
Yeah. Vandy, with a Herculean effort, will calm herself. And she will look up at you pretty darn hard-eyed. I'm not going to condone murder, Corwin.
You don't have to. I'm telling you what's going to happen.
And you shouldn't either. Please.
I'll do
There's
my
more work
best.
to be done. I'll contact the guard, as useless as that long saddle tends to be in situations like this. Do your work, see what you can find. I know
Let
who
us-
it might be.
Let us take a look, shall we?
Psychometric resonance is going to be only mildly helpful. It seems that emotions were pretty high swirling around the entire temple at this time, given how there was a wake going on for the town hero. You are able to pick up a trace of, what would you call it? Vindication. Fear, excitement, and vindication is what you get.
So just to refresh my memory,
Sure.
we're at the funeral.
Yep.
A speech has happened. We've been there for a couple of hours now.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, I don't know where you and Nil slipped off to.
I mean, that's not important.
You're all small.
Don't ask questions you don't need to know the answer to.
Well, I mean, you said we, so I mean,
Well, I mean the general we.
Sure,
the royal
sure. The
so
royal
there-
we.
There's
Yeah.
a superlative we. There's a funeral going on. A call of fire happens,
Yep.
and then did that fire happen in the same vicinity as this thing, or
Other
was it,
side of the
was
library.
it very like
Distraction.
Deliberate.
to my very clear suspicious brain? That's a distraction.
Well, I mean,
right?
I think you would think that would be the case no matter what
Ex-
happened.
Which is what I'm saying. Anytime someone calls a fire, like they're trying to get away with something.
This is
There was a
literally
fire.
the most blatant, most likely distraction that would ever happen.
So did we? And by we now I mean just Calvum. I feel like I would have paid attention to the people setting or running from that fire first, because again, I'm a hardcore conspiracy theorist. You got to look for the like grassy knoll guy, right?
Sure.
So can I?
Excuse me.
Drevin the Great Knoll takes
Oh,
great offense.
That was good timing.
Not all gnolls.
He's a great knoll, not a grassy knoll. It's
That's
okay.
right.
It's
Wow.
okay.
Cousin.
Paizo, please add a grassy knoll.
We have to have a
That
grassy knoll heritage.
That was great. Oh my gosh. What was I saying?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't feel like it was important.
You were gonna like look for people.
You were talking about
like,
people
you're
running from the
so
fire.
we
Yeah,
are
yeah,
establishing
I-
a couple things. One is what happened. The other one is that Calvum is there and is interested in investigating.
Correct.
Okay.
And wouldn't have trusted, innocent call of fire inside of what would appear to otherwise be, a somber event.
Yeah, of course. So
Random fires don't just happen, man. They're inside job.
their inside jobs is right. So Calvum was a little disadvantaged. You heard the call of fire, but you had a hard time seeing who said the call of fire on account of the fact that you were surrounded by people much taller than you. You kind of moving around, you can see that the people who are responding were acolytes of Sarenrae, wearing their typical robes of their librarians / priest of the temple, who are rushing to address the fire. It seems to be get brought under control very quickly, and you kind of lurking around.
Too quickly.
Well, lurking around, it seems that it was discovered quickly, and it was put out quickly, and that they basically are talking like it was a miracle of Sarenrae that the whole library didn't go up.
Sure it was.
But if you want to do some investigation beyond that, you could try to kind of poke around.
Any that's odd triggers on this?
Any that's odd? Well, I mean, obviously the that's odd would be the broken display case. If you want to go with Calvum,
Yeah, I'm looking around this because first instinct is immediately.
Is there a scent on the broken glass?
not that you can pick up.
Yeah, my first instinct is broken glass. Look for any sort of blood. They either used something to break it or just just punch through it and just.
You can punch through glass.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a good time.
I mean, you
but-
can. Yeah, you smart. A good time.
Lady Vandy.
Furthermore, also, it would be like they would like. It seems that Vandy is trying to kind of not ruin Mocker's funeral right
Yeah.
now. Yes.
After we finish honoring the dead, perhaps you would be kind enough to tell me if there are any members of the Vorajni family that may or may not have been present, as a descendant of that family who perhaps wanted the blade back might be the best culprit.
You just came to town, did you?
I am from far away.
Huh. But
She's real smart. We've been teaching her good.
well, I mean, she's apparently. Do you know Carmen?
Where in the world is she?
You set that one up.
Yeah.
I saw, as soon as I said it, I was like, oh, I should have changed his name. Carmen, he's one of Volrajni's descendants. And he's been a bit of a waste for most of his life. He didn't handle the loss of his parents well. And he did once used to own the town smithy, but he's been a bit of a wastrel, getting into the wrong crowd, drinking too much, and he's always thought that the sword should be in his possession and his family's possession and not here. Technically, the owner of the sword is the mayor, Yosef Menems. He has actually spent a great deal of his fortune amassing something of a museum that he has on display in his house, available and open to the public for free, to talking about the founders of the town and kind of their story. And he owns several other artifacts as well. Certainly the brooch, Drevin, that you're asking about, that's in his house. Although I don't believe I've ever seen it in the library, but he almost assuredly he has it. But the sword as well, which was given to us here, lent to us to display, but it never sat right with Carmen or his family, which I suppose I could understand, but, well, you know, there's no telling where that sword would have wound up if it was left in their care.
Or even if it was a real sword. Could have been a fake.
Well, I mean, it certainly seems real enough, but certainly it hasn't seen battle in centuries.
I've heard Carmen enough over at Yin's. That sword would have been sold.
Well, certainly,
Do we
I
just
doubt he
want to
would
go
have been able
deal
to
with
keep
him
it out.
tonight?
Let us finish honoring the dead, and then we shall...
I would be very surprised if Carmen didn't have something to do with this.
He won't be getting rid of it tonight. He ain't even going to be in town. That's my bet. He ain't going to be stupid enough to go home. He's hiding out somewhere.
The lady's justice can wait.
Of
We
course.
need to see the mocker. I can start picking up a trail once we get everyone out of here. Just keep them away from the display case.
Is Nil anywhere there, by the way, or she decided, like, maybe it'd be better if I went somewhere else?
No, I'll stick around. I do actually. I did want to be at the funeral, but this is a lot of people, and generally, although they're not particularly feeling inquisitive about talking to people very much, still it's a lot of people. So I will probably be hanging on the outskirts of everything that's happening.
Okay, fair enough. Well, trying to find out what happened to Volja Rajani's sword, which certainly is a town relic, being once belonging to a member of the Roseguard, one of the founders of the town. That's kind of a big deal. But more importantly and more immediately, you need this as one of the Roseguard relics that you need to break that spiritual barrier to get to lower levels of the Abomination Vault. So tracking it down will be something important.
Are you still okay with Annika and I coming to stay with you?
Yes, I have been thinking about sleeping arrangements actually, and I think you can take the spider web.
Okay. I love spider webs.
Not as much. I was really trying to. It's much more comfortable, so I was trying to, make you feel at home.
Morigna's embrace is something to be desired.
Oh, psychopops.
They're only
I want you
mostly
to know
creepy.
we actually might get along really well.
In the worst way.
Does anyone want to do anything else tonight? It is quite late, and most of the town is all shut up.
I'll just finish up with the processions and the pyre, and
Okay.
then probably go to bed.
The pyre is lit up and is a spectacular final send-off with Mocker's remains.
So we don't think this guy is going to jump ship, go out of town, leave, skedaddle.
He might run off in the woods somewhere, but he ain't gonna be able to get out of here that fast.
Where's he gonna go? The Wisps.
I mean, to Absalom.
He's not gonna be able to charter a ship that soon. He'll have to hide out for a few days, even if he's got
If I remember
Yin's
right.
contacts.
We're in the middle of a swamp.
Yes.
There are coastal roads that do allow trade to happen.
It's not safe to go by yourself at night
That's like
anywhere.
That's like the worst way to travel, honestly.
That's how you die.
Yeah, we do not live in a
you get
safe
eaten
area.
by monsters. You get killed by bandits. You get like Carmen, from what you know of him, and Drevin and Corwin know of him more, I would say.
When I'm trained in society.
Carmen is at the he's physically fit. He is because he ran the blacksmith shop, and he's also kind of gotten into with a rough crowd. So he has a bit of a reputation as being a rough and tumble
He's
What
a
would you call
ruffian.
him? A ruffian, a thug, a ne'er-do-well.
Misunderstood youth.
Yeah, there you go.
No, he ain't young.
But at the very least,
Same to me.
probably could take care of himself, but still, like, traveling by yourself at night through the wilderness of Galarian is not safe no matter where you are.
One dude, 4 bandits show up, and or 1 manticore.
There you go.
You die.
Lesser deaths. Roam the fields of Taldor, my favorite Galarian fact.
You're also on the island that Absalom is on. There are many bad things here. Why do people live here?
Well, there's
Because they
bad things
can.
everywhere, really.
Yeah.
So it's unlikely that he would leave without making some kind of preparations. It's certainly running off into the woods or to the road in the middle of the night isn't the safest
Giggling
thing
like
to
a
do.
toddler as he just holding it over his head, running off.
Dragon.
Right.
So I guess we'll all turn in for the night.
Okay.
Yeah.
The day dawns the next day uneventfully. You all wake up. Roll to wake up. Hey, you all wake up.
Oh, I wanna roll
You know what that means for me.
And we
That's
are
right.
alive.
I've got ghoul fever and something else.
We've got ghoul
Do
fever.
you actually still have ghoul
It's
fever?
burning
We
his
haven't
brain.
slept.
He
That's
has
right.
carrier.
You actually still have ghoul fever.
We
Yeah,
haven't
okay.
slept.
Yeah.
Roll me that fort save.
Fail it.
You're
Fail
getting
it,
a medicine
fail it,
check aid.
Fail it. Fail it.
You need.
Fail.
I
I
can't
passed.
fail the
It's
aid
fine.
for this.
What'd you get?
I got a 9 on the die.
He
So
passes.
I-
So
passed.
yeah, like certainly beats the.
It's a
DC.
19.
yeah.
I
19
needed
plus
like
4.
a 2.
It's a 23 with a +4
Yeah.
from treating.
What was the other thing that I guess don't tell me what the other thing is, but I did have another thing that I failed.
Yeah, he got bit by the zombie thing, the ghoul. Not the ghoul, the skeleton things.
The whites.
The whites. He got bit by the
cat
whites.
Yeah, the whites gave me something.
Oh yeah, they gave you brittle bones. It drained you.
You just got drained.
Oh,
Oh,
no, I
okay,
thought
that
I had
would've
to
gone
roll
away.
2 saves and I failed both.
Maybe you have
Hang
extra
on.
brittle bones.
Hang on.
I'm just making sure because I thought I had 2 diseases.
Let's see. They didn't kill you.
More ghoul
They
fever.
definitely drained you.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a vampire now.
No. You're
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
You're good.
You just
making
got the
sure.
drain that lasts the whole day rather than a couple of minutes.
Did he?
I think so, because he failed the drain thing.
Either way, it's
Either
the
way,
next day.
Your next day, you're good.
Excellent. I have done much research in the night, Calbum.
Yeah.
It is some excellent research that has happened. In fact, Iris has helped me in a considerable way because she can read other languages.
That's good.
Very useful. Without bones right now, it's a little more difficult.
Wait, where's Bones?
I accidentally killed him.
Oh
It
yeah,
was,
Calvin wasn't there.
Did he deserve it?
Kind of.
Yeah, he
he
usually
went
did.
to help us. That's never a good plan.
No, it's
So
not.
he got killed instantly.
Familiars on the front lines. It's rough.
But I have his I do have his gem that he is in. We may have to go and find him a new something or other for him to be able to communicate with the outside world.
Or maybe we don't.
What?
I mean, if we were looking for something cute and soft and fluffy, that he is probably Bones. I mean, that he's always considered to be cute and soft and fluffy.
Oh,
He was Bones.
You think Annika?
Exactly. Well, I'm just saying if she's gonna, she might as well carry her weight and walk on her own legs.
Annika, are you okay with that?
It's a dangerous job.
Out of curiosity,
Wait, Captain Fuzz is here.
could we put him in your hat?
Well, the problem is my hat. Well, the fish didn't really talk through its mouth either, so.
I did kind of just flap
Call it morbid curiosity, but
a talking hat.
the hat would be interesting.
The hat is also made out of worm meat.
True, but the hat cannot walk by itself and then go into. I
True.
mean, not go into danger and light us the way.
Well, she is protected by Pharasma, so I guess it would be okay.
This is a great idea.
I mean, you could wait for one of the centipedes to molt and use like the exoskeleton it sheds.
This is true.
That's actually not a bad idea either.
That's actually pretty good.
So you would need, what you will recall is that you had to ritually prepare the vessel in Volok's lab in order to do this, and you were already working with something. There was kind of like a vessel that you could copy off of. You need something that's at least relatively sturdy enough. So like your hat, yeah, maybe you could make the hat work. Although you really need to have some sort of living form for the soul gem to really take to. So something that has like a head and a body. Limbs are negotiable depending, but like Mr. Beak was perfect. Like it was a little doll, but it had a head, it had a body, had little flappy arms. It worked out. Borbo, when you put him into bones, it was a fish body, but it had a head, it had a body, it had little flappy fish things. It was good
criteria.
enough.
I could help you put something
So
together when we're
putting
not
it in
chasing
like
down
something that is
relics.
just a hat, probably not.
It's okay, I didn't like the head idea very much. I do not want to have to throw my hat into rooms. Not that what we would be doing. But
I can help you put something together, but we're gonna have to get back into the vault to put them back in there anyway.
I will. I have already made the decision, so thank you for the help, but no, it's all right.
Well then, in the meantime, what are we prioritizing? Sword, brooch, book.
Getting the sword back before that idiot skips town with it.
That's what I figured. Just making sure.
That is a good idea. We should apprehend the fugitive.
Should we go talk to your friend?
Yeah, let me go talk with Yin. I'll see if she's got any knowledge of where the boy likes to hang around.
Oh, I would like to meet your friend. I don't know anyone in town.
It's probably best we all go.
If you want to meet Yin, you're welcome to. She's a very nice lady. Do not take any deals she offers you. Do not take any drinks she offers you. You will owe her a lot of money.
It's weird that you're cautious now about making deals with people.
Because I know the
Corwin's
kind
priorities. Deals with the literal devils, okay. Yin, you gotta watch out for Yin.
Because
The
I
devil
know
has to
what
be
Yin
honest.
pulls.
No,
And
the devil has to tell the truth.
is honest. Yin is not.
honest at least.
I mean, also, aren't you in for like $1 billion to Yin at
No,
this point?
no. She wiped my debts.
Oh, that's right.
Because Corwin did her a solid.
You
Yeah.
did some shady stuff.
Don't
for
worry,
her.
they'll.
Which I guess
She's
now-
just
come
pretty
back.
sure I'll
Yin-
owe her money anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Now's a good time to ask. Are we having to like research and find these things, or like?
I mean, they're just not laying around. So.
Well, right now our goal is the one we
know
know
where
is
one
stolen.
is.
Yep.
We'll figure out
That
the
one is
others
just
when
like-
we're
Actually,
done.
we know where two
That's
are because she said that the
Mayor's.
one of them is in
the
the
mayor
mayor's
has
thing.
the brooch.
And the
we
book
got to go
is-
talk to Bookman for the
Yeah.
book plan.
Yeah, Morlabin has the other one.
Yeah.
And then the
The
sword
sword
and
is
the
stolen.
stone somewhere else.
And I have Otari's tools.
Yeah.
Can I sneak around to my common hiding places and see if they're out while they're talking
stump?
to more people? A large stump that you could hide behind.
That a dwarf can
I might
hide.
just, as they're over talking, I might just do a little like track around to like the usual hideouts because I'm great at hiding from people.
So you're gonna see if he happens to have hidden the sword in any of your hideouts. Gotcha.
That's a very nil thing to do.
Yeah. This is where I would hide
I know.
something.
I know where to put. I know where to
It's
put
like
things.
if you've lost something. We've lost something. Better check where we would have found it.
Nil-
That's
Nil-
genius.
Nil has ADHD. She
That's
just has
genius.
to retrace her steps to make sure that.
The more I interact
here's my
with Nil, the
keys.
more I am convinced she is a Rottweiler.
So you go to your favorite bone burying spots.
And sure enough, there's the sword.
Yeah.
Oh my
Problem
god.
Yes!
solved.
Hey,
Hooray.
problem solved. No, checking out all of your areas, you don't see that the sword has been stashed away in any of them. But you certainly do find that some of the things you have hidden in some of them have been compromised. Probably by wild animals, you would say, or possibly the town
That's
dogs.
what they want me to think.
right.
Is what Calvin would say in this situation.
It's
So
that
that's probably true.
it's that particular dog that Calbum hates.
Oh my gosh, it probably is that
Probably
dog.
is.
It's seen you hanging around with him and it's going for your bones.
That dog.
That? No.
I may leave.
PG-13.
I may
That's
leave
like
at all of my favorite hiding spots. Actually, probably all of them. Maybe one pregnant centipede. Stay. Sick 'em to anyone else. This is now your home. Let me know if you get hungry.
New in Troubles in Otari, the Centipede Menace across town.
You're setting
It
up
will
a
be
one-shot.
swarm.
You're setting up a level 1 adventure.
So you go and create an impromptu lair for the demon centipede.
Yeah.
All right.
All around town.
You're putting one all
On
around town?
everyone, yes.
All right, well, you have plenty of them.
I know.
And you still have some left over. So, yes, indeed, you go and...
And I think I have found ways to make more.
Well, yeah, that's the nice thing about things that are alive is they self-replicate.
These ones are going to be made creepily, but yes, I could just make them the normal way too.
Never content to let life and nature simply take its course.
I think that's illegal in Florida, actually.
I'm putting a note in my phone right now to add a one-shot for future use of a level 1 adventure that is
trying
killing
to deal with
infernal
devil
centipedes.
17s.
The entire swarm.
Well, as they are making their preparations, I think it would be a great time for us to take a quick break.
Hey.
Oh, thank God.
We'll see you in about 10 minutes. Get up, stretch your legs, take a break. We'll
Watch
see you
some ads.
shortly.
Get therapy.
Welcome back, everybody, to Abomination Vaults on the Undeniably Good Time Entertainment Network. Thank you for being here. Feel free to check out our other shows as well. On Wednesday, we have Secrets Between the Stars, a thrilling sci-fi adventure. And also on Saturdays, we have The Strangest of Aeons. The Aeons, they are strange indeed. Strange Aeons Season 3 is rolling strong.
We just met the King of Yellow, specifically of Yellow.
Of
yellow.
Very important conjunction right there.
Yep.
Not
Not
it's
interesting fella.
fairly certain it's in the public domain anyway, so I think you clearly could do whatever you wanted.
You
but
can.
of
No,
is
it's a
certain-
There's a
important
reason.
distinction, and there is a reason.
Oh, well, there you go then. If you want to learn more about that reason, feel free to check out Strange Aeons on Saturday. And of course, we have here on our time slot the Abomination Vaults. The vaults, they are abominable.
But we're not in them right now, though.
Abominant.
No, you're not. You are, in fact, in the town of Otari, trying to track down the relics of the Roseguard, the things that were once wielded by the heroes who slew Belcora those 5 centuries ago, and whose relics bear enough power to quiet the vengeful spirits that are inadvertently blocking your path getting lower in that dungeon.
5 centuries is only half the age of the Earth. It's fine.
And indeed, but who are our mysterious champions? Please, why don't we go around? Actually, we'll go this way this time. We'll start over here.
Oh, I am returned from the dead.
Oh, but before we do that, my return from the dead. Terribly sorry. We have a villain point from Chef Zija. Sounds like the GM will need this. Actually, that was dropped at the end before we went to break last time, but I'm very grateful, and nonetheless, thank you so much.
They're trying to stop us from returning from the dead.
Oh, no.
Speaking of return for the dead, yeah, we'll see how
I
well
mean,
that
it's-
works now that I have
It
this.
is the day to return from the dead.
It is. And your local spirit barbarian is happy to be here. Farazman and Keeper of the Bun. And, well, I'm very happy to be here. This is a very strange town. But I like it. I really like Nil's house. It's my new favorite place.
Well, over here is Nil Grumman, a resident dwarven druid. Had a great house, probably has most of a roof, and other things that would be good in a house.
Do you need your roof fixed?
Listen, none of us own houses. We're millennials. We don't know what our houses are.
You need someone to fix your roof?
No, it's how nature designed it. So anyway, so I just, like the wilder side of things. Some things just need a little bit extra love, especially if they're a little extra monstrous, and that's how I kind of try and live my life around here.
And live her life that way she does.
Are you going to tell me how babies are made?
Speaking of
have-
just a little
We
bit
did.
monstrous,
Just a little bit monstrous. Howdy, I'm Derp, and I play Drevin Sorrel, the Great Null Champion Paladin of Saren Ray, the Destruction Doggo, the Pious Puppy, now the Cop,
Now the grassy knoll.
now the Grassy Knoll. And I'm here to smash people with my hammer, especially the guy who stole the sword, who I'm going to break both his ankles and then drag him back by his ankles.
They're gonna
Ouch.
be broken.
So I'm actually
That's
the
right.
only good member of this party. I just want everybody to know that.
Just want to remind you all that alignment doesn't exist anymore.
I can break as many ankles as I want.
No, you can't. Moving
Until
on.
they stop
I
me.
mean,
You can only break them if they say no.
I'm Bobby. I play Calvin Finley Bottom. He's the smallest member of the party, right? Still, how tall is Riz?
She's
It's like 5'1". I'm definitely.
Fine. Yeah, good.
A giant.
Yeah.
You're undead-ish. You could be any.
She's also like 16.
Yep.
Yeah, they're small people. I don't know how tall.
She's very
16-year-olds are.
tiny, but she's carrying about all 3 of them's worth of bulk and weapons on her back.
It's okay. She's like 5,016.
That's true.
That's too old. The Earth hasn't existed that long.
Look, she's legal. It's fine.
Anyways, continue.
all right, moving
You
on.
allowed
I don't know
this.
how I
Moving
opened that
on.
can of worms, but
You
it did
allowed
happen.
this, sir. You did this.
I did not.
Anyway,
No.
Callum's a gnomish wizard, if it matters anymore.
We're canceled.
Yeah, we're
Done. Forget it. That's it. We're dead. All right, go ahead, you pill popper.
What? Oh, sorry. It was a really long night. You don't worry about it. Yeah. What am I doing? Oh, right. Yeah. Corwin. Here to fix
professionals.
wounds and whatnot. Like funerals happen, things going to the inn. It's there's a lot of things happening right now.
And someone's on drugs.
Yeah.
They're
It
just
seems like it.
He has
things
his
to
method.
take the edge off.
Method.
Hate you.
Well, and indeed, this is the downside of being the medic is that you have easy access to drugs to abuse.
I know from life experience.
Yeah.
as Corwin, very specifically.
Yes, as Corwin.
Drugs are bad, okay?
And the 5 of you awaken
Only take them when you get them from your doctor.
on this,
Right.
yes indeed, on this beautiful day.
To go see Yin.
Well, to go try to figure out who that ne'er-do-well was who stole the sword and where they ran off to. Although everyone seems to already think they know who did it. Probably it was that ne'er-do-well guy who was a descendant of the guy who originally owned the sword, who kept talking about how unfair it was that the sword wasn't his. That's what everyone seems to think.
The guy who put the sign on himself that said, "I'm going to steal this when I get the chance."
Basically
Not me.
is what it
For what it's worth. Not me.
To be fair,
not
Calvin
part of
just
it.
thought of it, but he thought of it second, which is why.
No, he thought of it seconds before it happened. Huh, that's a really stealable sword. Anyway,
Oh no!
Whoops.
So,
walk up to a cop. Hey, how hard do you think it'd be to rob this bank?
That's kind of what I did. We're in the cop's house, no less. Like,
Yeah.
we're at the freaking police station. We're like, I should steal that sword. Somebody stole the sword. Crap.
Hey man, how hard is it to break into evidence lockup?
that might not get you arrested, but it will get you detained.
Oh my gosh.
Well, what's the plan this morning, everyone?
We're gonna go talk to the crime lord and see if the lord of crime knows about the crime that was committed.
All right. All 5 of you heading over to Crook's Nook, which is a reputable bar and sportsman's club.
I'm
in
sure the
town.
bar is reputable.
Well, kind of. Walking in, it is the picture-perfect image of a hive of scum and villainy. There are rough types. Although you're there quite early in the morning. In fact, the place isn't even open so much. Entering it in, it's completely vacant, aside from a few passed out people underneath tables and whatnot. What's that grin all about?
Well, I mean, nothing like a
Vomit
good
swarm.
defenseless body to go investigate and see if they have any cool rotten teeth that I can steal.
Those are usually on the floor. Or
Nope.
check for the gold ones on the table. They sometimes bet with them.
I'm looking for the rotten ones.
Well,
Those are usually on the floor. They get knocked out in
The
bar
rotten ones
fights.
are inside the gold. The gold is just a facade, man. It's just a smoke screen. That's
They
what
usually actually
They want
are.
you to think their teeth are gold, but they ain't really gold. They're just gold plated.
Sometimes
what
they
we're
are,
doing.
actually, yeah.
well, there we go. Well,
The silver ones
A
actually
little
poison a
truth
couple
bomb
of them.
for y'all.
there is someone manning the bar at the counter. Although really, it's more like they're just stocking this place.
If I know
making
anything
sure
about the
it's
service industry, it's the guy we just brought back from the vaults because he's like, sweet, we need you to pick up a shift, buddy. we're short staffed right now. Get
Hey,
behind
your
the bar.
old job got filled, man. There's an opening here, though.
There's an opening at the Crook's Nook.
Hey, Lesnar, how's it going, man?
Can you tell I've worked in the industry before? It's true. That's how it happens.
I'm so glad you're out of the hospital.
You're alive?
You can come
Sweet,
in,
you got
right?
a shift right now, bud.
Oh, this is an interesting place.
Your surgery was an outpatient, right?
Yeah.
So there is no, Lazda is not in fact here. But he'll look up and he will recognize you because you are in fact the heroes of town. Oh, well, what brings y'all here?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Well, yeah, I would like to know. I asked
fair
you.
enough. Corin just said.
Need to talk to Yin.
Oh,
Is she in?
well, I mean,
It's a bit early, but
it is a bit early.
Is
She's
yin yin?
probably kind of crashed out, but I mean, I could wake her up, but I mean, I'm not taking the consequences for it. I mean, Corwin, I know you, so I'm sure you wouldn't ask this if it wasn't important.
look, we're looking for Carmen.
Oh, our famed Ace of Blades, really.
Yeah.
And he'll like kind of look his eyes over to a board on the wall where there are a number of names. The top section is actually labeled Ace of Blades, carved in apparently with a knife of some sort. And Carmen's name is written there, and it looks like it's been there a long time.
Oh, what's that?
Oh, that's our ranking for our knife throwing competition.
Yeah, he's got an arm on him.
Yeah, the champion was earned the title Ace of Blades, but Carmen won it a few years ago, and no one's beaten him since. The man's a wizard with a knife. Of course, I certainly wouldn't trust anyone that I cared or liked to walk home alone with him. That's for sure. It's a bit of a
It's a good strategy. Don't trust anybody.
yeah. Well, certainly not Carmen. He's decent enough when he's sober and asleep. I'll wake her up, but I mean, it's your funeral, man.
I mean, if you know anything, but if not,
Know anything about?
where he might be, where he hangs around.
Well, have you tried his house?
He ain't there. I can guarantee it.
All right. Well,
Technically, we haven't tried his house.
I know he ain't there.
It's a pretty good idea, bud.
I know
Can
he
you
ain't gonna
imagine?
be there.
he's
Knocking
at
on
home.
his door. He's just
It's like drinking coffee. The sword
On his hip.
on his hip. Exactly.
You and I both know he was out last night doing something. He ain't gonna be home this early.
I sleep through the night. Thank you, because I have
It's
to be here in the morning
Carmen.
to clean up.
What do you think he gets up to at night? He
Oh,
drinks.
yeah, no, probably crime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he ain't home.
Well, I'll go and get Yin for you. And he'll
Appreciate it.
leave and go upstairs. And after maybe about like 5-10 minutes, he'll come down and fling a knife. Which you're shot. Well, you want to roll me a ranged attack roll?
Sure. What am I rolling?
You're rolling that plus your proficiency plus your dex. Do you have any? What's the difference between your dex?
12.
12? Total of 12?
13, sorry, 13.
You get it in the wall under the target.
Huh, that's harder than it looks.
Yeah, it's less about how hard you can throw it, more about how accurately, because you don't really got to get the stick in there so long as you can. You know.
Yeah, it sticks in that wall.
Yeah.
Like, Wrist throws that in there, and it's like halfway embedded in the wood of the wall.
You either can throw it straight through, or you can, if you can get it to flip over, you can do it enough. But
You almost got it straight through.
Is this a game?
for some folk,
Well.
yeah, it's kind of like target practice in a way, but it's more competition.
Oh,
I got an 18.
An 18? Are you using magic to?
No, I just threw a dagger.
You just threw a dagger. Nice.
He's got
18,
dex.
you will actually hit the target. Not quite dead center, but you'll hit the one of the outer rings and
And then I used Mage Hand to move it into the center.
try to wedge it out.
Now that they consider cheating, probably throw you out for.
You didn't see nothing. Snitches get stitches, bud.
Should I go check this man's house?
I wouldn't.
We can go there after other leads.
If one of his
All right.
buddies finds you snooping around, they're on your own. They're gonna jump you.
Well, eventually, Yin will come down the stairs with the bartender coming down ahead of her, and Yin Normally he's very composed. You know, Yin's got some circles under her eyes. It looks like she woke up. And she came down, and she looks at the 4 of you. 5 of you.
She only sees 4.
And she, don't see anything. And she kind of looks around and says, "What's Carmen done now?"
Well, we're pretty sure he stole something.
Yeah, that tracks. He does that a lot.
From the church.
That's
Oh,
why
really?
that's more concerning part of why we're actually doing something about it.
And he did it during a funeral rite.
She'll kind of look at you and kind of cock her head to one side.
Yeah, it's kind of bold.
Frasman.
Uh-huh.
She's new.
I see.
Hello. I'm 5,016 years old.
You always introduce
Impossible.
yourself like that?
Well, they told me it was something that was of interest, and I should be sure to say that I am not 16.
Huh. It doesn't really... That's not the best conversation starter. I'll start with that.
Question quick.
And she'll kind of walk over to the bar, walk behind the bar, grab a mug, pull herself some ale, go out to a table, kick back, put her teeth up on it, and just drink and drop the mug down. Why are you bothering me right now, Corwin, about Carmen?
Question.
He's not my kid.
For you, not for Yin.
Yeah.
Was she at the funeral?
Was Yin at the funeral? Yin at the funeral. No. Yin was not at the funeral. At least you don't remember seeing her.
Couldn't help but notice you didn't show up last night.
What are you talking about? Oh, of course, your cousin. Yeah, terrible thing. My condolences. It's dangerous out there, but I'm sure he knew the risks. But, you know, you're heroes of the town, obviously. All of you. Even you, Corwin. Way to come up in the world.
Yeah. Why I'm bothering you? Because I'm pretty sure he's hanging around here often as he does.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you, of all folk, altruistic as you are, wanting to make sure the town is in its best and all the fun stuff you like to talk about.
Cut the crap, Corwin. It's early. What do you want?
Want to know where he's hiding.
What did he take?
Vulroth's sword from the church.
She kind of spits the beer back.
Yeah,
a
he
bit.
finally did it.
You know what? Yeah, he might as well. Look, that guy, all right, he may have been useful for some things, right? He might have been useful for some things.
He was good muscle.
He doesn't understand that business needs subtlety. You have to, there's an art form to this. You can't just go and do stuff like that. Like, he's more trouble than he's worth. Look, absolutely. You know what? It would be great if you could just make the town a safer place by capturing this dangerous fugitive. It would be spectacular. He's an idiot. He's a blockhead. He has no idea how to conduct proper business. That in mind, more likely where he's probably gone off to hide, there's a little cave outside of town, a bit to the west here, kind of a little bit into the woods. It doesn't get quite so swampy there. There's a cave. It's called Smuggler's Refuge. You know, where all the kids like to go hang out?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Smuggler's Refuge because it used to be a smuggler's cave, you know, before everybody learned about it, and it's now where the kids go to hang out to get away from town.
Where they go to smoke patch.
I'd bet you 10 gold he's probably there.
Fair enough.
Go there, check it out, take care of him for me. I never want to hear of him or see him ever again. He is such a waste of space.
Is that a lot of money?
What, 10 gold? I mean, depends.
I
What
mean,
you
for
want to buy with it.
Yeah, for a working man, I mean.
But for an average bet, that's
that's pretty standard.
Yeah, you're
Taking notes.
Iris.
right.
She's not from around here. Well, we all actually know where she's from around. It's a complicated story.
I'm from the Boneyard.
And regardless, it's too early for me anyway.
I'll put in a good. We're going to be talking to the mayor later. I'll put in a good word for you about helping with returning the sword to the town and all that.
Oh, screw off, Corwin. And she'll kind of push herself back up, finish her beer, and clomp back up the stairs.
Well, that went well.
Appreciate it.
Wow. She's extremely insincere.
Yeah. You see why I tell you folks not to come over here and talk to her?
She's really growing on me, actually. I think I like her more and more every time I see her.
She's less direct and more showy and tries to hide that side of herself when she's not just waking up.
Yeah, apparently when you get her first thing in the morning like that, she becomes quite direct.
Yeah. Honestly, she's way easier to deal with like this. I'll have to start coming here in the morning.
She will hate you, but she already does. So, let's go to the cave.
Oh no, she loves me. She's making tons of money off me in the past.
She doesn't hate you. She's contemptuous of you. Slightly different.
Yeah.
Sure. There are definitely nuances there.
I guess we should go to the cave then?
Yeah, it ain't too far from town. I mean, we can get over there pretty quick. And, well, after that, honestly, we should be able to get there, back, and deal with the rest of the stuff before the day's out.
Yes, because the mayor owes us a favor anyway, so he should be willing to let us borrow his artifact.
Yeah, we can talk to him about it. I don't even know what's going to happen when we bring him in there. Have to find out if we can get him back.
I'm
But-
sure he would do a favor for a servant of the Grey Lady.
He owes me one, that's for sure.
Moving out along the way, following directions. Corwin certainly knows where this place is. Drevin may have... No, probably you have not heard of it. Calvin and Nil may have heard of it. It's basically like a place... It's literally like a little cave outside of town where a lot of kids go just to, get away from things.
The
Do you
worst
want
sort of
Survival
cave.
Society or Wisplord?
I'm saying that Corwin knows where it is, so,
Yeah.
he doesn't... You don't need
Well, you
any-
said I might not know.
Society.
I'm kidding.
Does the
I don't
cop
think
know
it
where
matters.
delinquents hang
Yeah.
out?
Does the cop? Yeah, but probably not, because you're a fairly sheltered cop, actually.
It's the Disney version of a real smuggler's hideout. You've got it's but cleaned and everybody knows about it.
Does he know where the abandoned tunnel is that
Yeah.
all the skaters hang out in?
Yeah, exactly. Come on.
Oh, it's true. Yeah, definitely the Goonies. This is not. That's for sure.
So what is Pesh?
It's a thing just a lot of folk around here kind of get into. It's real simple. Kind of takes the edge off after a long day, but it's legal some parts, illegal in others. I can't remember if it's legal in Otari or not. Half the people in here do it, and Yen supplies most of them. It's
I wouldn't recommend trying it.
I wouldn't either. It is addictive.
The fact that
I would
Yin-
recommend trying it.
the fact that Yin is primarily the supplier of it means it's almost assuredly not legal, or it would be in the general store.
I mean, she might have just cornered the market on it.
I do not put transformative substances in my body.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Should not have
Good
drank
thing
the
I'm
tea
not
last night.
Abadarin.
I mean, I've used it on a couple procedures, but it's more of a.
It's medicinal.
It's more of a.
It's natural. It comes from the ground. It's the
If
only thing
I'm-
I'll use.
If I'm out of the more concentrated stuff that, for purposes built.
Is there anything I should know about this Carmen before we engage him in Mortal Kombat?
Likes to throw knives.
Good, he's got a good arm on him. He's strong as a bull. I mean, he's blacksmith.
He's
Got a bad arm
probably
armor too, though.
sleeping, so that'll help.
He might be depending on how late he was out, but he didn't have to go too far if he's packed up in the smuggler's cove. So
So you'll travel through, kind of talking about your quarry. If there's any particular preparations you want to make or things you want to do, like say, I don't know, exploration activities.
Yeah.
We could start talking about those.
Seeking.
Recalling knowledge.
Really?
Protecting magic.
That's what I
I mean, I know it's what you always do. Okay.
I mean, what are my other choices? I'm terrible
Seeking.
at perception.
No, I'm just surprised you're recalling knowledge is all. But we will be recalling knowledge.
Scouting.
Huh?
Scouting.
Scouting.
Magic. Detecting.
Detecting
Of
magic.
the such.
Okay.
investigating in this case because I'm pretty sure that this idiot wouldn't bother to put traps up.
What's the difference between investigating and...
It's the recall knowledge one.
Okay, so you both recall it. Okay, yeah. All right, so you'll move on. Calvin, kind of like, secrets of the universe, reveal yourselves to me. Kind of thing. It's kind of nod.
Fairly
Secrets
standard.
of the universe, reveal yourself
boilerplate.
to me. And you doesn't take too long to find this cave. It is exactly what it is. There's a mound that rises up. There's a hole that goes down. You can see that there's been like a campsite made outside of it, although it looks cold and abandoned. Looking it over, there are signs that people come here regularly.
Was that S thing on the wall spray painted?
Yes.
It's inverted somehow.
Yeah.
Looking through here, it doesn't seem to be as though there is any sign of anyone here. Although anyone with survival is actually, no one's really tracking, are you?
Nope.
So don't worry about that.
Nothing to see here, guys.
Nothing to see
It's
here.
fine. It's fine.
Someone's seeking, though, right? Why don't we do a perception check for our seeker?
But do we need to follow a trail with them when we know where the place is?
I'm just rolling.
Um,
doing
this
things you
is,
see, good sir.
27.
No, just asking. Like,
20.
we know
What?
where it is.
27?
27.
Oh, okay, fine.
16 on the dice.
You're able to actually see some recent footprints leading into the cave, and you do not see them coming back out.
Sweet.
Now off of
All is
that,
planned.
I will track those.
Well, so you think I pointed them out to you? I just assumed that's what we were trying to look for anyways.
Just letting you know what you see when you walk. Moving down into the cave, it's dim in here, but it's certainly not obscured, right? The sunlight, it's daytime outside. The sunlight does filter in. You can see that again. There's more places to sit down here. People have brought logs down, which are easy to sit on. You can see the sign of a fire pit in here as well. Although those of you with any amount of survival knowledge can easily see that there's no way for the smoke to easily escape. So if you built a fire down here, you would probably be inclined to put it out very quickly because it would suffocate you otherwise. Indeed, though, it seems there's plenty of people who don't know about that.
Unless you're some hooligan teenagers and you're smoking pesh.
Exactly, which is probably who keeps building the fire down here.
You just fill the fire with pesh, and then you don't need to like roll things.
You're looking around the area when a movement flickers out of the corner of your eye, and you will see a well-built man spring out from behind a cot that has been put in the back, brandishing a knife in one hand and a mirror sheen sword in the other. Almost assuredly, any of you who are, certainly the locals there will recognize this as the sword that was once housed in the Dawnflower Library. You'll never take me alive! This sword is mine! And at that point, we're going to roll some initiative.
14.
I got a 15.
Man,
We're
making this
high
easy.
level party over here.
Yeah, I tell you.
18 on the die. This is my lead. That is a 32.
Probably going to be right up here.
I was scouting, so everyone gets +1.
Oh,
33.
Okay.
They're in the same spot though.
I got an 11.
Seriously?
Yes.
You rolled a
Man,
2.
we
Oh,
are
Calvin,
really
I've
on
missed
it.
you, so.
Roll a 2 on the
25.
die.
5.
25.
Three.
All right.
All right, a 2, a 3, and an 8.
15 on the die.
And so you got a total of a 25?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he's going to go right here. You? Come on. And here we go. All right, Corwin, you're up. And we are going to be on the...
He's working on it.
He's working on it. Perfect. Beautiful. And actually, if we can move him up here. Get our heroes laid out here. All right, and Corwin, you are up. You can see, and you as a local will recognize Carmen as he pops out from behind the cover.
Were you gonna roll my recall knowledge check?
Yeah, it's your turn. We can totally roll your recall knowledge check.
My society is a +10 and is a +1 because this guy would be my lead.
Guy would be your lead. Alrighty.
11.
So for you, will go ahead and so looking at Carmen, you would know that just looking at him, Carmen has a powerful physical build. However, you can see that he handles his weapons very competently. It seems that his years of doing rough and tumble work for Yin had led to quite a bit of skillful and dexterous prowess, which he is wielding very effectively. Carmen is no slouch, and you would know that he is not to be taken lightly. His reputation as the Ace of Blades would indicate that he is very proficient with his throwing knives. But moreover, wielding the sword is also going to be something dangerous. This, just looking at him and seeing his stance, this is going to be a hard fight.
Yeah, Carmen doesn't have to go this way. 5-on-1 here, bud. You sure?
5-on-1, please. It was the whole town against me. But now that the sword is mine, rightfully, its rightful heir, you think you can take it?
Okay, so you're delusional. Got it. I'm going to devise a stratagem on this guy.
Okay.
That's a 17 on the die, and I'm pretty sure that's going to hit. Just going to pull out what looks like just a pile of metal parts that have been shoved together.
Mm-hmm.
Just toss it up in his hand a second and just, sorry, bud. I'm really not in the mood today. And chuck it at him.
Frag out.
This is a junk bomb.
Junk bomb, also known as a frag grenade.
This is basically just a frag grenade.
This man is getting fragged.
This is a total of a 29 to hit.
29 to hit. That's going to very solidly hit him and explode with scything shrapnel blasting in every direction.
So he is going to take a d8 of slashing damage. +1, so 3 damage total, because 1 splashing damage.
Okay. And splash actually hits your main target now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And a persistent bleed damage, just 1.
Okay. He kind of winces away from it as the bomb cuts shallow grooves across him, but otherwise is only minorly inconvenienced.
And other hand shifts out and just pulls out Otari's rapier. You ain't the only one that's been getting good with a blade, bud. I'll be honest, Yin sold you out.
Of course she would. That wretch. No loyalty whatsoever. But that doesn't matter. I'm done with Otari anyway. I'm done with this whole dang town. And he will brandish the sword and look over the lot of you. And his eyes will lock on Drevin. He'll recognize the paladin of Sarenrae. Drevin is something of a figure in town. Out. Get out of here, all of you. And he's going to flick this knife directly towards Drevin as he charges forward. The knife comes incredibly quickly, and since you haven't yet been able to act as he sprung out, you are going to be flat-footed to this.
Rogue stuff.
Just rogue stuff. And I'm going to spend Chef Zija's...
You sure?
Yeah,
You don't think it's
that's
hilarious?
right.
You know
Let's
what
burn
happens
those villain
when you
points
do
Oh
that.
no,
right away.
I got a
Before
good
you
feeling
spend
about
it,
this one,
I would like to
actually.
point out he threw a knife at a man in full plate expecting it to do anything.
I know, right? And it would be really cool if it did do something.
It's hilarious if
Nick,
it doesn't.
re-roll it
I'm
into a 20.
I'm trying to get some gravitas here.
Into a 20.
With the boss. Well, it's not the natural one anymore. Hang on.
well,
It's
yeah,
probably-
that's
It's a
better.
5.
I mean, on a 5, it's probably still a hit. It's the boss.
It's true. This is going to be a 21 versus your flat foot.
You know. It
Does? I got you, right?
Does the flat-footed.
Yes! Surprise attack rogue
It
stuff.
totally hits the full plate and does nothing, but it gets in a crack and still
Yeah,
gets up in
this
there.
actually gets into your armpit. Like, so your guard is up with your hammer, and it actually catches you in the armpit. It is nearly an impossible shot. But he
You
manages...
might almost say it was pure luck.
Huh?
You might almost say it was pure luck.
You might almost say it was pure luck, given how I'm rolling with, craziness. But the knife sinks in, and it hurts a lot. That's going to be 18 points of piercing damage.
Ow.
You know what I really miss? Nick saying Dive Lanoir and blowing himself up.
I do miss that.
It was something of a...
What kind of rogue?
It was my
actually-
favorite.
Huh?
What kind of rogue is this? No fort save.
What kind of rogue is this so far? It's called an NPC who doesn't have class
He doesn't have
levels.
debilitation
I'm
yet.
saying no poison on the thrown weapon. It's such a common trope.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. You want to be poisoned?
He's
Give
a
me a
thug,
fortitude
not a
save. Go for
poisoner.
it. I'll poison you if you really want to be poisoned. Fair enough, I guess.
I'm mocking him.
And
Weak sauce.
Mocking Paizo. We know what happens when you do that. Bloodberry bushes come out.
Put himself over here,
What?
In the corner.
Holy crap, that's fast. Oh, I guess not
only
that.
30 feet.
Never mind. Yeah, it looks farther than it was.
And he's going to brandish the sword and strike out at Corwin. Perhaps a bit. It's a very cocked die. Perhaps a bit incensed at him. He's going to get a natural 1. It's a fast kind of whip out.
Just brings the blade up and just the laziest fencing motion. Just no.
Keep using that die, by the way, Nick.
And
Yeah, I like
I'm
that
putting
die.
that die over there.
It's good, I like it.
I got some gravitas to maintain here, everybody. Riss.
Riss will swell Luanach Goho di Maun. And a spirit will actually come out of his sword, and the spirits of children who probably overdosed here will actually rage and join behind her.
You know, actually.
And her eyes will glow blue. Come on. And she'll move around him 25 feet.
Okay. So you can move. Are you trying to stay at the length of your pole?
Yep.
All right, you'll be able to get to there, and you'll be in range.
Come on now. You know you want to leave this place with me. Stab out at him.
What the heck?
Now he's flat-footed.
He's like, I don't know what to feel about this. Roll me an attack.
That's gonna be a nat 1, and my thing is gonna go off.
Hey!
Someone let Link know.
Yeah, quick, Link. It
Someone
worked,
let Link
Link.
know in the Discord. The Bane's triggered.
I'm gonna be a fog of war. I am dazzled until the end of my next turn.
So you call upon the spirits of this place, and surely someone must have overdosed here.
Smoke in your
But
eyes.
something else happens. You see a little bit of this, but what hits you is actually a flood of spirits. You can see small lizard-like creatures and what appear to be grizzled, lanky humans who appear to be maybe the smugglers that were once here. Regardless, these kobold creatures and these human creatures all swell up. It seems at some point in the past, when this was still a smuggler's den, there was a massive fight that happened here. And the kobolds and the smugglers went at it. And there are a number of dead spirits who are rather in quiet who are stuck here. And you are dazzled by how many of these spirits kind of swarm around you, and you actually lose sight briefly of the fight happening.
Oh, this is busy. This is a busy place.
And Iris starts to just kind of look around at nothing in particular, following floaters in her eye. All right, Drevin, you're up.
I'm going to pull that dagger out, throw it to the ground, and then move over to his left side, west side.
Below me.
Mm-hmm.
Baloney.
And just use a reposition and attempt to shove him up one square out of the corner so he can't be protected. As I tell him,
Move out of there and take your beating.
Okay, you're going to try to reposition. Lets you shove in a weird direction? now?
reposition lets
It's
you
just
move him adjacent.
Oh, okay.
They changed shove to reposition.
Yeah.
It's just instead of straight back, it's now in like any direction.
Oh, that's
Neat.
handy. Bully. They should call it bully.
It's now-
And it's basically bully. But reposition can also be used on allies now.
He says.
Do I drop my weapon? Or do I
Uh-oh.
re-roll?
You don't.
Aha.
Not in this fight.
Uh-oh. Was that a nat 1?
It's a 2, which is a 12.
He's a big boy.
He's a rogue.
I think
Big
it's worth a
decisions
reroll.
over
But
here.
it's you. No jeopardy.
What you doing? What you doing?
I think I'll just go with the 12.
Okay.
Is
so,
it a critical failure?
So you go to shove him, and he is going to actually wrap his arm around that hammer and yank. Would you like to drop the weapon, or would you like to be pulled to the floor?
I'll just drop the weapon.
And he will yank the weapon out of your hand and spit a curse at you. You've got
One action.
one action left.
Well, the weapon didn't work, but I think just grabbing him might suffice.
Go for a grab.
We're going to take the criminal back one way or another. Natural 20. He's pinned.
Fully restrained.
He's not grabbed. He's
Bark.
pinned.
So he yanks this mallet out of your
And then I
hands.
pounce
You
on
let it go and just tackle him. And you pick him up, and he's tied like this and kicking his legs.
You
Sir,
can make this a lot easier. Just drop him.
That's really
Sir, the
intimidating.
Doberman was less threatening when it had a hammer.
Nils up.
Well, I'm so glad we're doing this today. I've got something new. And I will just focus really hard and kind of stare at the veins going up this man's, like, beefy shoulders, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to ask a fortitude save from you.
Sorry, the serifs are weird. I think that's a... Is that a 17?
What's around it?
That's totally a 17. Okay.
Oh, no, that sounds very good.
Hey, you got a 30.
Oh, no. He's totally unaffected. Okay, well, I'm oogling.
Is he
This-
unaffected? Totally? That's critical? Sick.
That's a critical, yeah.
Oh, your DC wasn't... Okay.
Yeah. So I'm oogling this man for like 6 seconds.
He's a little distracted. He doesn't realize... He's too distracted by the gnoll grabbing him to be creeped out by it.
Okay, yeah, and then I'll just move. I might move like maybe 2 steps away, just, get the healthy distance.
Healthy distance. Calbum!
Calbum, so he's currently pinned.
Effectively flat-footed for
Yeah.
anything you're going to do.
Okay, great. Calbum pulls out a ball of loose yarn and then just tosses it, and it kind of expands into sort of a net looking thing, but it's just a lot of like random yarn bits and whatnot. He's going to attack the flat-footed for 27 AC.
Pretty good. Solid hit.
Is it a critical?
No.
Okay. Well, he has -10 to his speed for 2 rounds. That was Tangle Vine.
He is tangled up in this cat yarn.
He is multi-restrained.
Yeah, multi-restrained, and then I'm gonna cast shield on myself. Yeah,
Just in case he chooses to hit
Yeah,
you.
he starts throwing knives again. That's no great.
All right. Well, Calbum, you have Corwin, I should say, as Carmen is in a way easier to hit position than he was before. That's for
Is.
sure.
And let's see how much easier I think he is to hit, given all these vines wrapping around him and a very large, full-plated dog that
vines,
is also
it's-
around him.
Yes,
yarn.
indeed.
Yarn.
Right on already.
I'm pretty sure he's a good bit easier to hit here. Just kind of flick the rapier up, right around above Dreven's shoulders. Look, man, you could stop at any point. Just let me know when you want to. Because really, I'm not going to unless you say. And just stab forward.
Oh, okay. All right. You actually are going to stab him. Okay. Yeah. It sounded like you were trying to talk him down.
No. 14 on the die. That is a...
He's not going to waste that device.
No. I'm stabbing this man. I'm only stopping if he decides to stop. I'm stabbing
Gotta
him.
tap out.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That is a total... Let me see what target paper is that. That is a 25 total.
You hit.
All right. And I'm assuming he takes precision damage.
He does. He is not an ooze. He is not a ghost. He has anatomy.
I
so
have to
precision
ask
works.
to be sure.
You don't have to. I'd give it to you at this point. Actually, you know what? Come to think of it, I don't want you to assume things. Yeah, probably a good idea.
Well, we
don't
also
train your players.
we
to
also don't
do
know
bad
if he
things.
has deny advantage.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
Wait,
It's
he's
because
being
rogue
forcibly-
higher level than us.
That's true. Well, the funny thing is, he's not a rogue. He's an NPC with a made-up stack block. So
Yeah,
Either
well,
way, he's
yeah,
forcibly
NPC
being held, so.
there's also that, which I don't know if it helps or not. Deny advantage is actually kind of weird,
That is
Deny advantage prevents flanking.
And flat-footed.
11.
which is flat-footed, right? Or is it
Yeah.
just flat-footed from flanking?
It's
just from
flat-footed.
flanking.
Oh, okay,
No,
there you go.
flat-foot. It's explicitly.
No, I think it's flat-footed. Period.
Yes, you are
actually.
correct.
It is 15.
Barbarian,
Yep.
you'd know. 15.
15 damage total.
Ow.
Big old
Poke.
just stab with this
Just like,
rapier.
hey, how you doing? Hey.
That was less of a hey and more of a hey.
And what did you want to do with your last action?
I'm going to ready an aid for Dreven.
It takes you 2 actions to do that, unless you have something
Only
fancy.
takes
It
one
has
now.
changed.
It has been changed. It only
It takes
takes
one and a reaction.
Yep, it takes my reaction, but I don't have any other reactions.
Fair enough.
They made aid useful.
All right, so let's review the situation Carmen finds himself in.
He threw a knife at me, and I got really mad.
He tangled in vines. He got stabbed.
Yeah, it looks like his it looks like the situation is not going well for him. I'm just gonna
Pantsed him.
give him a little.
Give him a
No,
nudge.
that's next turn.
Is that a 1?
Yeah.
That was a 2.
What's the number?
It was a 2 on the
No,
die.
total. Because if he critically fails, he can't break out.
No. That's not the roll to break out.
Okay.
I'm just checking his morale real quick.
His morale is, I'm in a bad
His morale is
situation.
trash.
You don't make morale checks, by the way, ever since like I think D&D 2. So, but I always like them. I always like
We
the
call
mechanic,
those will saves
especially
now.
for NPCs.
See, when he popped out from behind the cot, he didn't realize that he was walking into the gnome dome, my dude. Don't mess with the gnome dome.
They even arranged the logs in a circle.
I know, isn't that great? There's a little dome right there.
Where they put the gnomes to fight.
So
We are pretty small. We got
Carmen is so he is so overwhelmed. He took that stab like a champ. He kind of rolled with it. It's not a lethal stretch by any means. It certainly looks like he probably could go longer. But you'll feel Carmen just slump in your grip. And he almost like starts crying. He's so frustrated.
Drop it.
And
Drop it. Not
he-
Drevin. Don't drop it. not talking about
The sword will slip from his grasp and fall to the floor, and he will just, damn it. It's not fair. It's never been fair.
Spork. Fetch.
And he stops resisting.
Cat
No,
sword.
maybe resist one more round.
Spork is very big, so.
Young man, whatever is the matter?
This sword, it's mine. It should be mine. It was my ancestors. Great, I don't know. But it belonged to Volrajani, my ancestor. My family is just as important to this town as that damned pretender Meneb's. He takes all the glory. This whole town is his. But what does my family get out of it? Nothing. We run my family were traders, scraping a living by. While Menhem's is there in his mansion. Is that fair? It's not fair at all. And to moreover, this was my ancestor's sword. This was Volrajani's sword. It should have come to me. But that Menhem's has had it. His family has had it this entire time. Lending it to the temple. As though it was theirs to lend. I tried to buy it from him. I tried to buy it from the mayor. And it was always something. I had to wait. There was a delay. There was a price increase. And then finally he simply said he wouldn't sell it at all. He never intended to sell it to me. This was all a trick, like everything he does. This sword should be mine. It's just not fair. And here you are, more agents of the mayor, here to take back what was never his.
On the contrary, we wish to use this sword to free the spirits of the hold.
Yeah, I don't give a damn who the sword belongs to. We need it because there's a seal in the
We don't work
Godlight.
for him.
Forgot the name for a second.
Now, see,
Look,
What if we gave it back
you,
afterwards?
see here's the thing, man. I agree with you. The ruling class shouldn't have all the access to all the different things, and capital is just, it should be ours, right to the people. You know what I mean? But here's the thing: we need this sword for a little while, so like, kind of goes to our advantage that you let us borrow it for a bit. Maybe we'll bring it
Our
back.
sword.
That's right, comrade. It's our sword now.
Carmen, if Drevin here lets you go, are you going to start swinging again?
Well, you've all tried to make various agreements to calm him down. It sounds like a great idea for some kind of socially type stuff. Maybe diplomacy comes to mind, but I don't know. Maybe an impassioned argument upon communal property might sway his mind.
I'll roll a diplomacy check. I'm actually trained in diplomacy.
Oh, give it go. Why don't we give
You
it
don't
a
want
shot?
me to roll?
I mean, you're probably better. I don't know. Are you trained?
I'm
in
not
diplomacy?
trained in social skills.
Okay, great.
I'm not.
Am I the only one trained in social skills? That is
that's amazing,
We
'cause
have,
Mocker's
we have
gone.
made a grave mistake.
So I have
a
to
party.
ask this because you said I can use his skills.
Huh?
The mirror.
No, he just said
No,
about
his
the
knowledge
esoteric.
skills.
You can't have. I mean, you could probably ask Mocker to make it make it, but like there's no memories that Mocker's going to have that might be useful.
This is hey Mocker, how can I convince this guy that we're not trying to kill him and do him harm?
Mocker would be able to aid you on a diplomacy check. That's how that would work.
Yeah, that's still a +0. So
Good thing we have someone who's trained.
Yeah, I'd say.
I'm trained.
I gave you an aid check, and I only need an 11 to succeed.
I got
Don't
a
worry about it.
+8. I'll be all right.
He's fine.
There we go.
He's
That
killing
gives you a
it.
+1 at least.
And I rolled a 16 on the die.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
pretty
go
good.
for it.
Listen, man, here's the thing, right? I agree with you. The ruling class, and I'm just gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna go into like comrade zone. We're just gonna I'm just gonna totally like
Boom.
Yeah, workers' rights, man. I get you. I'm right there with you. But right now we got a bigger fish to fry. You know, like you see how the gauntlet went out last night? We did that, but we need the sword to like put it together for some kind of ritual or something. I don't know. I wasn't there for it, but
I was there for it, but I know we need the sword.
An impassioned agreement. So, Carmen will kind of like as Calbum basically stream of consciousness is him about eating the rich. He'll
100%. Yes, he does. Yeah.
Carmen will kind of nod for a bit. You do understand. You do see what's right. All right. I've wanted this sword my entire life. It's been my family legacy. You can use it, but I'm not letting it out of my sight. I'll come along.
I don't think that's a good idea.
I think it's
I'm
a great
not
idea. I think you
letting
should come.
this sword out of my sight again. I've seen way too many times just having a glimpse of this thing and then having it taken away from me.
man, I agree with you. Don't
Actually-
trust us. Don't trust nobody. You come with us.
As
Yeah,
an
I
ancestor,
I can trust you,
as an ancestor, he may actually be helpful.
descendant.
Descendant. He
Well,
may actually be helpful to the ritual.
if you're coming with us, at
Perhaps
least I'm going to get your wounds patched up.
he shouldn't come with us to see the mayor, though.
I'm
Oh, yeah,
never
you gotta-
going.
you
I'm never
gotta-
setting foot in town again.
You gotta hide out for a while, man.
I'll stay here. No one will find me here.
Not a good idea, man. Listen, man, we all know about this place. Even if the fuzz is onto it. This guy's the fuzz.
Vandy literally, Yin literally didn't even hesitate to tell me where you were.
They
Yeah,
sold you out,
expect
man.
nothing less.
The ruling class sold you out, man.
Of course.
Maybe-
No one's on my side.
We know.
I need to go. I need to go hide out somewhere else. Where
I have many hideouts. Maybe you want to come to one of my hideouts.
What about the one below the fishery?
Mine are much better and closer.
Well, that one leads direct into the gauntlet, and
Okay.
it's behind closed doors.
Well, I guess I could go there with him.
the gauntlet. Is it safe? No one else would go there. It could be perfect, actually.
Well, it's right below
Right.
town too. It's right below Tamley's fishery. There's a
I'm-
way down below there.
Back in town.
We
no,
can sneak you back in.
No, I'm not going back there. I'm not going back there at all. But you said you need to meet me in the gauntlet. I'll just go out to the gauntlet. I'll wait. In the one of the there's got to be some places that I could go hide in.
Should I go with him?
Probably.
I'm still staring at the veins in his arms very suspiciously. I just want everybody to know this.
I definitely
mean-
think it's a good idea for him to have company of somebody competent.
Excellent. And somebody competent. Yes, it's me. I have been chosen for this task.
So Carmen agrees to go hide in the gauntlet under the guidance of Nil.
And I'll
Clearly
patch
the most trustworthy people in the party.
I'll patch his wounds up just to be safe.
He doesn't know any different.
He's at least a strong enough fighter that if something does jump Nil, she's got someone there to watch her back. So,
With
get him-
a quick patch up, and he will follow Nil over along to the gauntlet, if that is in fact where you are taking him.
Yes.
As they're leaving.
Carmen, when we're done with this, you and I are going to have a talk. Then I'm going to buy you a ticket to Absalom, and you're never going to be back in this town again.
Absalom. I should go somewhere. But yeah, I'm never coming back here again. You've got it. Trevin. You had to think about your name for a minute.
But also said it with disdain as
Yeah,
is
yeah,
appropriate
yeah,
because Drevin's the cops.
Having to give him a chance to be a better person sucks.
Derp's like, I wanted to murder him.
I wanted to break his ankles and drag him back. Make him answer for his crimes.
Like, you ain't the only one that, descendant from the town. I'm named after Otari.
Why don't you two go see the mayor, and we will go to the bookshop?
You mean these two, and you and I will go?
Yeah.
Just clarifying.
That way we'll get it both done.
I'm gonna tell you, Morlabent's real short on temper. So just be quick and direct on what you want.
I know what I want.
Just let you know, he's got a real quick fuse.
Okay. We shall take that into consideration.
Well, it looks like efficiency is in mind now as the party splits up. Although this time not in a haunted dungeon.
Well, to be fair, it's efficiency for the sake of expediting this process because I don't trust Nil not to eat him.
Also, we are sending Nil to the haunted dungeon.
Eat him. First of all, you have
Either
really
the
gotten
bugs,
it wrong.
or you're gonna sacrifice him some kind of ritual. I don't know what your plan is.
We're going to come in on floor 1 to the altar we destroyed, and he is going to be in a pillar of gold or orange light.
I don't know.
There's
Nil
like
was
a spell, and there's like the gem right in his forehead. I'm like, I don't know what happened.
What?
Like,
He just tripped and fell on it.
I needed, I needed a thing with arms and legs and a head. Look, he was right there.
He tripped.
We just come in and it's just a skeleton. We're like, I found your bones. I don't
Gem
know.
hit him here, and then he rolled into the prep vat. And I figured, like, well, I might as well turn the machine on. And
Well, then
Why
I
waste a good
tripped and I
opportunity?
accidentally pulled the lever.
no, Neil would just be like, well, I can't waste this opportunity.
The science must be done.
Well,
Well, rest in peace, Carmen. We knew you well, and for about 2 minutes.
Well, I hadn't even considered it a possibility until just now, but now it has
Arms,
to
legs,
happen.
and a head.
It's so funny.
Bones is about to go from floating in the from like having lived his whole life 2'3" to floating in the air at like 4
No.
foot.
I promise.
to
I promise.
6'2".
I promise we're heroes. I promise everyone's. These are good
Whoa.
people.
I have never claimed
That's
such.
true.
They are good people.
There's
at
a
heart.
reason in all of the live tweets that we're not called heroes. We're called the explorers.
I have deliberately avoided that word for a reason.
So,
So
Oh man. Wow,
we
that's
peel
funny.
we peel off to Morlabent's bookshop. Riss and Calblum trotting through town. At this point, the sun is higher in the sky. Not high in the sky, but it's like probably like 9, 10 o'clock. Make your way to Morlabent's bookshop. It's not hard to see. Opening the door, you are greeted with the delightful musty smell of well-preserved paper.
at least she knows what that smells like.
The door has one of those little bells on it as you walk in, and a rather surly man from behind the counter will kind of like jerk up and look around. Oh, it's Calblum. And who's your friend?
Iris. Chosen of the Grey Lady.
Chosen of the Pharasman. A Pharasman in my shop. Oh, okay. Oh, that's different. That's unique. What are you doing hanging out with him?
Oh, he's teaching me about the man.
Oh dear. Well,
He looks like the kind of guy who'd say, "Oh dear."
Oh dear.
oh dear.
Well, we need a favor, and I was thinking, I do have something to trade.
Well, I deal in money mostly.
How do you...
You would. Capitalist scum.
This is like the only guy in town you talk to.
You charge for books, man. You
Our books.
right. But knowledge should be shared, man. You keep it behind. Callum's just broke all the time. He can't afford books, so he really like resents the fact that this guy is hoarding all these books.
Hoarding them.
That's right.
Hoarding them. Well, what can I do for you, young lady?
We understand that you have the book, the spell book.
The manifesto.
The spell book, the Threshold of Truths?
Oh. Oh my. Oh, certainly that one. Well, yes, indeed. It's been in my collection for many years. Zarmavdian's spellbook, Thresholds of Truth. Not just magic, mind you, in that, though some of it quite rare, but also a very fascinating treatise. Historical artifact of the town's founding.
We should very much like to borrow it.
What?
Well,
He doesn't understand borrowing because he's a capitalist.
What? You expect me to give one of the most historically important volumes to this town to you?
to me. In exchange, I shall let you hold on to this as collateral. I think you'll find it very interesting. She'll pull out a book. It's The Bones Land in a Spiral, in ancient Aslant, and it doesn't have any of the added stuff. It's literally the OG.
Huh. Oh yeah, I forgot. I gave you that.
You did.
Oh, right. I have made
My own
it.
words come
Pretty
back to
serious collateral.
Here's that bridge I said I'd cross when I got to it. Uh-oh.
Hey, remember that gun you mentioned in Act 1?
All right. So,
Like the original.
so yeah, no, it's right. I forgot you asked for that, and I was like, oh yeah, you have it, but it's in the original Aslant, and you don't have any of the other interpretations. It's just the prophecies. Okay. All right, you get this. All right, you hand him The Bones Land in a Spiral. He looks at it. His eyes widen as he looks at it. You get the feeling he does not speak ancient Aslanti,
Oh.
but he recognizes it.
I can translate.
Checkmate, capitalist nerd.
And he kind of takes the book and starts looking through it.
Oh, this is very interesting, actually. This passage is a reference to the original prophecy, and he'll start translating it for him.
So as you start doing this, he kind of like, just a moment, please. And he'll go into the back. He'll come out with a box. And he'll open it, and he will take out an oiled leather bag. And it's like a satchel, and he'll unbuckle it, and he will pull out an ancient volume. And he will lay it on the counter. There's a stool, so Callum can stand up to look at it.
Ooh.
He has little people customers, so
What is-
Scolarian.
Of course he does.
And this is the Thresholds of Truth, as is clearly splayed across the cover.
It's lovely.
And he will turn it, and there are a number of things that Zarmavdian was researching in this. Not just his magic, but indeed a treatise on how to use knowledge to protect yourself against, well, the more aberrant creatures that he's run into. I think, now that I think about it, it could actually be quite useful. This is a true treasure that you're trusting me with, so it would be rude for me not to trust you with the same. You must keep it inside this leather container at all times. The swamp is a terrible place for books.
Of course.
And he will kind of dig under the counter, and he'll come up with a bag of what appears to be kind of chalk or white powder, maybe talcum, wrapped in cheesecloth. And he will tuck it into one on each side of the book, and he'll close the book up and wrap it up in a cloth on top of it.
Oh, very clever.
On the side of those little bags, it says, "Do not eat."
Yeah, do not
ingest.
eat, exactly.
Do not ingest.
Very clever.
Where's the silica packets?
Yeah, that's it. That's what he just put in there.
That's exactly what it is. He
that's
put
what
this
that
in
is.
as a desiccant to absorb moisture.
We do the same thing in crypts.
Huh. Yeah, I guess that would make sense. Yes. Well, at any rate, please take good care of it. If any sort of magical effects come from its use, please let me know. I would love to be able to research what this book can do, but from the safety of town, please.
Of course. And
but-
should you have any questions about that or about anything else that occurred in the Empire of Islanti or Earthfall, I should be happy to have a lovely discussion with you when we return.
I think, yes, I would love that. Please, thank you for entrusting this with me. I'll read it myself. But yes, I would love if you could spend some time helping translate this.
I should enjoy it very much. I rarely get to speak the mother tongue.
Yes. Yes, indeed. It hasn't been spoken for millennia. It'd be fascinating to even hear. Yes, indeed. And Morlabit just titters and just starts talking to himself, basically, as he starts aging through this book, kind of goes into the back room for a bit. Terribly sorry. Please, and ushers you out the door.
Take that.
And the door closes, and then he flips the sign to closed.
Welcome to the Resistance, Morlabin. It's about time you came on our side.
Well, I was hoping not to have to do that, but I had a feeling that would work.
That was a genius move. You're so much smarter than I thought you were.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, I think.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, it is a compliment.
Yeah, there you go. We'll cut over to Corwin and Drevin on their route to the Menim's Manor. So the Menim's Manor is on the northeast side of town, as I recall. It's quite large. Menim's family is apparently quite wealthy. They've done quite well for themselves. Probably why they decided not to bring Calvin here. And one entire wing
Capital is big.
Dude, I took him on purpose.
One entire wing, or at least I should say the lower floor, one entire wing, is actually been set up as a public museum about the Roseguard. You may have been here at some point in the past, but it's sort of like not only is it like a museum of the Roseguard, it's kind of like functions like the town historical society, right? It talks about the founding of the town, the heroes who founded it, what they did. There's actually artifacts of the Roseguard, like. This is like the adventuring pack that they got. This is the style of it from 500 years ago that they were cranking out in Absalom. Here's like, the mess kit they brought with them. We have different things that we bring along now, but there's like little placards that talk about it. Needless to say, Menim's brooch is not on display here. However, coming up to the doorway, you are greeted by the house servant, who will note the two of you. Yes, indeed. The master said that you might be stopping by. Please, come in, both of you. He ushers the two of you inside. Doesn't really make any mention of the fact that only the two of you are here. But takes you to a sitting room, offers any refreshment that you might like. Wine, whiskey, fruit juice,
Fruit
water.
juice.
Fruit juice is actually a delicacy.
Yeah.
It's like,
'cause
would
it
you like
doesn't
some
keep-
Hawaiian punch?
Yeah, it does. It doesn't keep. It's basically you have to get fruit shipped to you.
It makes sense. I just wasn't expecting it. It got me for a minute.
Probably fruit juice.
Probably fruit juice, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if they're on offer, sweet things are hard to come by.
It is sweet. It is hard to come by, and he brings you a small glass of a sort of a rose-colored, pulpy juice, and it is. You have never had anything like it before, and apparently it comes from far to the south. It comes up actually through the infamous shackles these trade routes have to go. And it is a tropical fruit that is grown by the native peoples far to the south and shipped out and so these are available here, and they are bought at the Absalom market at great expense and kept as a delicacy by the family. But he is certain that the heroes of town, the mayor, would be more than happy to treat you to some. And it is delicious.
Probably have to pour it in the back corner of the mouth and then close the mouth and swirl it on my tongue because can't drink it like a normal person.
Well,
I
you
got
can't
a dog
stick your
snout.
dog tongue into it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how dogs drink it. They go.
But that would be
slurp it up.
rude to do.
Yeah.
Look, he's a nice pupper.
No, so just back here in the corner, just tip a little bit in, close the mouth, and swish it around to taste it.
Yeah, it takes a while.
I'm trained in society.
Well
I know
done.
how to be polite.
well done. Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
He brings a hamster bottle anywhere he goes and just hangs it on the wall real quick.
It doesn't take long before the mayor comes down. Yosef Menez comes down, and he's actually accompanied by a young woman. She looks, first off, the family resemblance is unmistakable. But at the same time, she looks to be about maybe 16. but carries herself well.
They're all so
She looks so sad.
These are trying times, dang
For
it.
those of you who are only listening, you should definitely flip over to the VOD
Dude,
and look
these
at
are
these
the
people.
richest
They look
people
so
in town.
sad.
They look like I'm
They're
not going to
sad
say what
because
they
we're
look
gonna
like.
ask for their brooch.
Mo
they're-
money, mo problems. That's all I have to
This is
say.
what capitalism gets you.
They
do
just make
think
you unhappy.
That the art for these does show up literally when the undead attack happens in town. So it's like the moments after the undead attack is when all this art is from.
They're very sad people. They have a lot on their minds. But they're actually quite happy when they come to see you. Yosef is beaming at the two of you. Please, let me introduce my daughter, Doriana. She was very happy to go and come and meet some of the heroes herself. And she gives a very elegant curtsy to the both of you. It seems that she's very well mannered and is the picture perfect, like minor noble, like well off young lady.
Return a proper bow.
It's a pleasure to meet you both. Thank you. And they both sit down to join you. But please, a terrible tragedy of what happened last night. But well, anything that I could do to help, of course. And please, what can I do?
Oh,
Nice.
we're here for the brooch, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Of course, of course.
Or,
Please, Markham. And he gestures to the manservant who is there, who of course nods and leaves. And we'll come back with the brooch. It is a silver stag overlaid with the image of a bow and arrow drawn downward. My ancestor, Asfina Menhems, this was her brooch, a symbol of her faith for Arazdil. Arazdil, it is something perhaps of a historical curiosity that it was a Serenite temple that was built here. But Arazdil is indeed a god of the wilderness and of the hunt. And though that is indeed what Asfana did, I think Seren serves the town better for a place of civilization and refuge. It's, needless to say, this is indeed a priceless family heirloom. Villain point, Roku-san. I have seen the history of these rerolls. The next thing I give when I'm not late to the stream might just be more dangerous to our poor players. Expect woe upon ye, heroes. Next episode, anyway.
The last one of those killed someone.
Oh.
Don't let his piteous cries stay your hand.
It was only his
potential,
cousin.
Yeah, it was-
potential herald of Nimbaloth. Embrace your destiny.
I call plot immunity for the rabbit.
The rabbit only.
I just want plot immunity for the rabbit.
Don't worry, the rabbit is imperishable. Pharasma will protect it. Not you so much.
I mean, if
not
nothing
you
else,
so much.
If
just
nothing
so-
else, Nil will.
So it's just so that her next character can be a poppet.
There you go. There you go. No, though. Thank you, Aruk-san, for that villain point.
The brooch will be returned after we've broken a seal.
Of course, but it's not just a pretty object. There's power in it. The power of Erastil to strike down the undead. I feel that maybe if you had it, it might have been enough of it. Well, I shouldn't dwell on such a thing. Doriana will put a hand on her father's arm. Please take it with you. Certainly, your devotion is clear. And I feel that my great-great-grandmother, ultimate grandmother, she would want it to be put into the service of good once again. And Doriana will open it and take out the brooch. Here, and she'll hold it out in her hands to you and offer it for you to take.
Kinda-
Scoop up in my big fuzzy paws.
Let the champion of a god take it.
There's definitely, you touch it and you feel sort of a little tingle, an electric sort of connection to it. You sense its power, and you sense that it is offered to you, but not without, it's not a gentle gift. You almost sense a challenge contained within it. Almost a, let's see what you can do is the sensation you get when you hold this in your hand. You've heard of Erastil, you know a bit about Erastil. It's definitely an old god of the hunt, of the challenge, and even though there's a strong opposition to the same thing Sarenrae is opposed to, you can feel almost this primal, like, challenge behind it as it's handed over to you. You are being given a gift, but it's also a test, and you can feel that as you hold it.
Mentally, I'll just kind of accept this challenge and bear that burden.
And holding it, you can feel yourself invested as you hold it within your hand. And indeed, this brooch has joined itself to you, and you to it. It will count as one of your invested items. I'll tell you what it does later. Actually, you know what? I'll tell you what it does now, because you kind of get a sense of it. First off, you feel that you can cast Disrupt Undead now through the power of the brooch. This is a cantrip. It's at will. You can do it whenever you want.
Heck yeah.
Also, you sense that once per day, with a brief ritual, which would be 3 actions long, you can use it to empower your weapon. You will be able to give your weapon either the Deadly D12 trait,
Big smack.
or against undead, it gets charged with the Fatal D12 trait.
Bigger smack.
Well, no, Fatal...
Actually, Fatal's worse for you because you already have a D12 weapon.
I already
don't you?
have D12, so Fatal is...
We can work out
Whatever,
the
we'll
details
figure
later.
it out.
the same.
It's good. It's
Yeah,
good.
deadly
It'll
is
be
better
good.
at
We'll
higher
make
level,
deadly. I
but-
think is actually better with your D12 weapon. We'll figure it out. I'll give you
Yeah.
a little extra bonus on it. It lasts for a minute or until you dispel the energy. You expend the energy by actually
You
critting
said the
something.
ritual's once a day?
Once a day. Yeah. If it's not too much trouble, it's so rare that we have guests. Would you terribly mind staying? We can converse. We could play cards. Whatever we could do. But it's so rare I get to talk to to the heroes of the town. Doriana is quite animated, and Yosef kind of smiles at her as the picture of a doting father. If the heroes are busy, but if you can spare the moments, I'm sure that my daughter would love the company.
I think Corwin just realizes in the moment, I haven't played cards in since this started.
Which was like 4 days ago.
It's been like his
It's been like a few
wind
weeks.
down.
It's
Yeah,
like
it's been
a week or two.
two.
Yeah, it's been a long time for
Yeah,
Corwin.
but
He
that's
used to
like
play
his
cards
wind down
every
thing.
night. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like go to the bar, hang out after work with the guys, and play a hand of cards.
Well, please, this way. And she will bring you over to a table. And Yosef will excuse himself as having business to do. But she will nod. Markham will stand in the corner as a servant, both to attend to anything he might be able to bring you, and also as a chaperone, you with society would know.
And the dealer.
Can't have any rumors when there's someone there watching.
That's right. And she'll bring out a pack of cards, which is in excellent condition, shuffle them up as though she is actually quite competent at it, and introduce you to a game. So the game is effectively, it's like Whist is the game that they're playing. You can play it with 3 people, and you would have enough society training to know the basics of it. It's kind of a high-end game. This isn't something that you typically play if you're like the rough and tumble types. That's not really like kind of how
Not
it
the
goes.
1% is what you're saying.
Well, so the funny thing about it is that, this isn't that elite. It's not like, Noble's Bridge or anything like this. This is something that, young military officers will play. Rich people will play this. But also, it's sort of like an intellectuals game, so students play it also. So it's not entirely inaccessible. And so she will go and play these cards with you. And it is, however, a competitive game. You are trying to take tricks and earn points. So if you would like to go ahead and make some rolls to determine how well you do, let's make me an argument for a skill and tell me what you get.
I think before the cards even come out, without thinking, Corwin sits down. There is already 2 silver pieces on the table.
That's how they get you, man. The house always wins.
Please. No need for gambling here.
What do you mean?
He's no.
Gambling, I'm in.
What do you
I'll
mean?
just use
what do you mean gambling?
society.
Well, I I
It's
forget.
your
No, I suppose
He does not realize they are on the table.
Malcolm, I'm terribly sorry. Do you have any change?
No, just pretend it's not there.
Of course, the 1%er needs to borrow cash from her servant.
Doriana doesn't
I don't
carry
carry cash. What are you doing?
Why do you change?
You put money on the table.
What? Oh. When did I do that?
Just pretend it's not there. It's an old habit of his.
Oh, of course. And Doriana kind of smiles and looks at you, and then she'll kind of blink for a moment, and her eyes actually get a little sad at first.
A little.
They look very sad.
The artist sad art. Leave me alone.
I can see exactly what you mean.
The Paizo artist got one direction. Sad.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. God, did they nail it? Did a great job.
Knocked it out of the park.
Knocked it out of the park. The card game we'll play. Give me. You want to use Society?
I'm going to use Society and try to purposely lose, but barely.
Okay, that's you have to be pretty good to be able to purposely lose, but barely.
I want to make it look like it's like I'm trying to win, but more so just giving her a good time.
Okay, fair enough.
Like playing with a kid.
What about Corwin? What about you?
Corwin would probably know this game.
He would.
Like, he is intellectually, like, he reads, he studies.
You also play a lot of cards.
He plays a lot of cards.
So you probably know this game just from
He's
that.
played this a lot. He doesn't realize that he is playing as hard as he is to win, but he is using, like, his experience and knowledge in the game itself. I'm going with Society on this.
Sounds good.
But with his experience,
Deception? Question mark.
no, it's always going to be Society on this. My deception is trash because I don't have any charisma.
That's
What's
fair.
why he
what's your
loses at gambling
What's your
all the
highest
time.
level skill? I feel like you're just
Crafting.
using that.
Craft
Crafting.
new cards.
Being real crafty.
No, that would be thievery, and that's even lower than Society.
All right,
Give
go
me a
for it.
roll.
20 total.
20 total.
I have a hero point, and I'm burning at cards, my guy.
the spirit.
That's gambling right
I'm
there.
gambling gang. I ain't gonna go with a 2.
I'm
love it.
satisfied. Perfectly average.
I'm not. No. Who is this from? I'm thanking you because I need to win
I'll
a
just
gambling.
take it. Perfectly average.
Naxtooth. This is a card that's actually really good for me because I cannot get out of grabs. But thank you for roll back. I'm re-rolling that too.
Because there's gambling to be
If
done.
this is a nat 1, I'm gonna laugh so hard.
That's how gambling works.
It's a 5. It's way
Yeah.
better, but that's only a 15.
So, you not only is Doriana good at cards, and it's apparently like common with them, but she is actually quite skilled. So Corwin, like you're playing, right? You're getting in with it, and like, man, you just play into trumps all day. Like Doriana's taking your tricks.
The house
Drevin's
always
taking your
wins.
tricks.
It's how he got into debt. He has unluck at cards.
It just does not work out for you.
He gets trashed.
Drevin, you start playing
refuses
cards,
to cheat.
and you're trying to gauge it to make sure that you don't blow her out of the water. And it doesn't take you long to realize that Doriana is actually, not only is she well-mannered, not only does she know the rules, but she's also very sharp. You start actually having to play hard and try. And you will, but something will come to you because you're really getting into the game. You can see Corwin over there, and Corwin is literally frazzling out.
Flop sweat.
Like, you can
Freaking
see
out.
Corwin, like, looking at his cards, looking at the trick. Like, Corwin is like, some people get in the zone, like, Corwin's in the swamp. Like, he is completely, like, out of it here.
Instead of locked in, it's lockjaw.
It basically. And
that's for you.
and you'll
I'm
see
doing
Drevin. Drevin will see Doriana kind of like going and playing, and you're actually kind of trying to gauge it, and you'll see Doriana reach for a card and then kind of stop and kind of cock a head to one side, and then just kind of grab another one and throw it, and ditch the trick, but then come and win the next 2 that come out. And you're not really like, it's just a weird oddity. It's like she just kind of had a whim that wound up working out for her. And you'll notice that this happens a couple of times, but for the most part, it's just normal, strong play. And honestly, all of you have a great time, except for Corwin, who just cannot figure out what the heck.
That's what happens when you play a psychic, son.
And and Drevin is just kind of going through and just seeing this. But regardless, you don't have any hard time like letting her win because she actually kind of beats you. But it's a close game. And Doriana seems to really have a good time. And
that was the goal.
and
I have to do this because this is exactly what Corin would do in this situation. He's losing too hard. I'm changing my lead to this card game. And I'm pulling out if there is a that's odd on this.
Is there a that's odd on this? Yeah.
Is there a pattern to this? Is there something recognizable that I can look into?
So there's nothing recognizable, but you are going to notice that Doriana does. You'll pick this quirk up as you just start literally dropping every other lead you have to focus on this card game.
Nimbleoth is out of his mind at the moment.
Don't even care.
Because of the fact that he has not played cards in forever. It is a laser focus.
One of your leads is Doriana, and one of your leads is Drevin, and you're watching them both like hawks.
Yep.
I'm over here playing the game by the book.
Yeah, exactly.
He has the book out.
Like any good cop would. You're not breaking any rules.
Not that he can read it, but so you'll notice a couple
Exactly.
things. One is that Drevin appears to be paying attention to Doriana and trying not to do too hard. You'll actually notice that Drevin's not trying to go so hard. But the other thing that you'll notice is that you'll notice this odd quirk where Doriana just kind of seems to almost get a whim and just kind of go with it, and it works out for her. And that happens a couple times. And that's a little weird, but it's not like nothing you could really bring up or talk about. Certainly it's kind of weird table talk, especially in polite society. But you do notice that. That's kind of a little bit oh, that's kind of weird.
It's kind of a couple hands of just it's just a real luck streak you got going there. Yeah.
I've always been lucky.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's where my mind's going on some of these hands.
Okay, well, I guess I certainly didn't suggest this to go and cause stress.
Oh,
No. Trust me, this is way better than being in the vault.
Maxim, maybe that bottle of wine. And he'll nod and start to pour a glass of wine for the both of you.
That's what every girl wants to hear. I would rather play cards with you than go out down in the dungeons to almost die.
Fair enough. And you spend the rest of the maybe a few hours of the afternoon in relatively pleasant repast with at least some good drink to go along with it, which takes the edge.
There is
off
a
of
couple
it.
of times after the wine gets added in that he does put silver on the table again and does not realize it. Drevin sliding it over.
Yeah, just pretending it's not
and
there.
Doriana is far too polite to say anything. But you come out and you have yourself in your possession the Hunter's Brooch.
I got the brooch.
Brooch of Asfena Menim's key to breaking the seal on the lowest level of the Abomination vaults.
So what does this book do?
Oh man, it's got so many secrets in it. I don't even know yet. I haven't ever been getting my hands on it now. So now I'm gonna spend so much time reading. I'm gonna copy all the spells in it. I'm gonna put them in my book, and we're gonna read. And we're gonna learn so many things.
So Callum's going to find something interesting in this book. In addition to a
many things. but
fairly
yes.
lengthy list of spells, one of which seems to be something that you have never heard of before, you will notice that there is a set of training on something called an Eldritch Researcher. This is actually access to a hidden archetype. So if Caliban wanted to go look at this, he certainly could. Or if you would care to actually share the knowledge with any of your fellows, I suppose any of you could go ahead and take this.
We all got to be wrestlers.
Huh?
We all got to be wrestlers.
Yeah, well, there you go. No, it's free because he's the Gnome Dome, right?
That's
Yeah.
But if you looking through it, you can take Eldritch Researcher archetypes now, which should be available in Path Builder. But if you want to see it in the book, I've got that there as well.
Okay.
Well, it is almost time for us to go. We've had a very interesting time in the town of Otari. Carmen has been secreted away to the... Has he? Did he survive? Is that what happened?
Yes, well, I may have some kind of conversation with him about, whether or not he would like to have more power at his disposal. Knowledge that he did not have before. Maybe it could make other people respect him a little bit more with, a little bit more, just like a second opinion on ideas he's,
Perhaps taken for granted?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, bud, you want a goblin in your head?
So, why don't you go ahead and give me a, any type of diplomacy would work.
Excellent. Perfect.
Tell me how that goes to see.
I am trained in diplomacy.
Are you?
Okay,
good.
All right.
Okay, well, it's a 6. I would really like this to work.
Hero pointing.
So, let's see over
Oh, we saved the
here.
best for last.
Yes. Okay, this is a hero point from Asane. Let's see here. This is
Iris received a hero point from Magus Plains.
Ooh, thank you.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna try this again at with more gumption this time.
I saw that, Nick. I saw you got left hanging.
Happens.
Sorry, honey. I'm just writing his name down.
Yep.
Okay, well, it's still only a total of 15.
Still only a total
He's
of
gullible,
15.
it's fine.
I mean, he's...
He did follow you into the wispy
He
woods.
is also. I mean, maybe it's a convincing. Some
Hey, you
people
want to go to my lair? Sure.
He's a desperate man.
Come with me, kid. I got some candy for
While
you.
we're here, how would you like to get some power to surpass your mortal limitations? Well, Nil is apparently nowhere near the silver-tongued devil that Corlarian is. You're talking to Carmen, and he is kind of like nodding politely, but you can tell that he is not a man who really is good at splitting his attention. And most of his attention is on his family sword, which is finally in his hand. And he's finally able to, he's finally found a way out. And that is all he's thinking about right now. On the bright side, it doesn't appear like he's noticed any of the, blatant attempt to corrupt his soul or anything like that. So,
That is good.
the door might still be open for
That
later
is
on.
good because I think if we did get into a fight, I would lose. So
Yeah, you probably would.
I would lose this fight. So yeah, no, that's fine.
What that hero point called?
Last ounce of strength.
Ooh.
To
That's
my
a pretty good
last
one.
breath.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one.
I like
I
it.
remember that one.
I like it.
Well, the heroes, they mourned a fallen companion. They found the missing artifacts of the Roseguard, tracked down Carmen, heard his story, were moved by his plight, and have decided to smuggle him to the ruins of the Gauntlet, where he can help, as he has promised, to break the seal on the floor to get down to the deeper depths, where somewhere down below, Belcora's ghost is rising, and surely will not take kindly to her plans being thwarted on the upper levels.
That's for next week.
That's going to come next week, which is going to be the finale of this
Ooh.
season.
Season finale next week.
Yeah. We will see how it goes.
time.
We will see if they
Dragon
survive.
Ball Z.
And we will have a great time. An undeniably good time, I would say.
Hey, you said the thing.
I did.
Since we were in town for 2 days,
Oh, yeah. Shopping, of
Shopping will
course.
be
We'll do
happening.
that off screen so we don't have to
Yeah.
go and do a shopping episode.
Can they get their level stuff?
Well,
Cool.
we will shop off screen.
We will shop off
Yeah.
screen and do all sorts of cool stuff.
I wanted to make sure you guys got taken care of.
We'll shop off screen.
I get some kind of fatal, deadly.
We'll figure that out.
see. Off screen.
I get a weird mirror to figure out what that does.
Man,
Off
this
screen.
post-show, there's going to be a lot of stuff to talk about, I suppose. Speaking of which, if you want to see our post-show, feel free to pop onto our Patreon. $5 a month gets you access to absolutely everything. Do we have that on Ko-fi? Or
It is. I believe there's access through Ko-fi.
Beautiful. Give it a shot. See if you get access to Ko-fi. I think I could do that too. Ko-fi's better than Patreon. Go to Ko-fi. Check out our sponsors down in the lower right-hand corner. Code UGT Show will get you access to discounts on most all of them. And give our sponsors some support. We'd appreciate it. Thank you all for being with us on this delightful
TPK
Easter
will do
Sunday.
it.
And we will see you all next time.